started from December 1st. So currently we are almost done with the first lesson. We have only a little bit to cover. And we will do that, and we will do the second lesson today. So for all the newcomers, you have the option of joining to the class one day and see if it fits you, if the class is suitable for you. And then you can choose whether you are going to continue the class or not, right? එතකොට අද අලුතෙන් ආපු කට්ටිය stay for the class today. You might feel a bit lost because you are joining halfway, midway in a lesson. මගරි join වෙන හින්දා සමහරට පොඩ්ඩක් lost වෙයි. But we will also be starting the second lesson, so I think it will be okay. ඊට පස්සේ by the end of today's class and tomorrow, within today and tomorrow, let me know whether you will continue the class or not. If you decide to continue, of course, the previous lesson recordings I can send you. Yeah, and also for the newcomers, this is how we communicate during the class. I ask you questions quite a lot. So I don't always expect you to unmute, but if you can unmute and answer, that would be great. But මන් දන්නවා සමහර වෙලාවට ඔයගොල්ලන් ලැජ්ජයි පොඩක් unmute කරන්න කැමති නැහැ. So it's okay to let me know in the chat box as well. And also, sometimes I keep on asking, like, do you understand this? Do you understand that? එහෙම ඒවට ඔයගලන්ට thumbs up react එක දෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. You know, Zoom has thumbs up and all these reaction options. So you can use those as well. Before we start the class, let me ask you one more time. All of you, මම හිතන්නේ හැමෝම නමෙන් නේද label කරලා තියෙන්නේ? I think so, ne? Seems like it. Okay. එහෙනම් අද අලුතෙන් ආපු කට්ටියට, the newcomers, is everything that I said today clear? For the newcomers, you can give me a thumbs up if it's clear. Okay, great. Okay, good. Okay. By the way, I just realized that today is the first day we are meeting after New Year. So what did you do on the New Year day? Did you all have any celebrations, or how did you all prepare for the New Year? Did you all make like New Year resolutions? Did you make vision boards? Wish you the same. Same to you. Did you all make vision boards, anybody? How the vision boards are doing? Anybody made a list of things you want to achieve in the new year? Like අපි හැමෝටම new year resolutions හදන්නේ? No? You put out fireworks? Yes. I heard අලුත් අවුරුද්දේ උගන්න class එකෙම තිබ්බා කියලා නේ? Okay. So we are starting 2026, right? So that means in 2027 December you have your exams. You all made a bucket list. Great. Great. So I think it is fun to make New Year resolutions. It's fun to make vision boards. And I think you guys should definitely try those. ඔයගලන් ගොඩක් නිකන් adults ලා වගේ mature විදියට ඉන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. You can just try making lists, things you want to achieve in 2026. And then you can make vision boards or ලස්සන photos දාලා. You can do something like that. So make the beginning of the year fun and positive and interesting so that you have things to look forward to as you go on. But also, it is important to know that නිකම් bucket list එකක් නැත්නම් නිකම් New Year resolutions list එකක් නැත්නම් just a vision board විතරක් January වල full excited වෙලා හදලා ඊට පස්සේ අවුරුද්දම එක දිහා බලන්න නැත්නම් there is no point, right? So I hope you made a list of things or a vision board, but also has a plan. For an example, let's say you want to lose weight. Then what do you do? Nikang, I want to lose weight. No. There has to be a certain set of actions to follow that. I'm going to work out every day. Or I'm going to diet. Or I'm going to reduce my sugar intake. So, Gulange, whatever the plans you have, I hope you also have, whatever the wishes or whatever the goals you have, I also hope that you have a plan for them. All right? You guys are, I think this year you'll be 15 years old. So you are nearing the adulthood. And I really wish that whatever the plans you have for the new year, I hope all of them will become successful. And I also hope that all of you will be able to learn everything properly, study everything properly, and we'll have a great year together. Okay? So අනිතක තමයි O levels තව අවුරුදු දෙකක් තියෙනවා කියලා don't take it lightly. දැන් ඉඳන් චුට්ට චුට්ට වැඩ කරන්න පටන් ගන්න. Okay? While you of course enjoy your time and all that, because you guys are still children, right? You have to enjoy your childhood. You have to do fun things and all that. But at the same time, වැඩ ටිකත් ගන්නට balance කරගෙන යන්න ඕනේ. Okay? So, with that positive mindset of starting 2026, we'll start today's lesson. Let me share the whiteboard. Lamai, I have shared the whiteboard. For those of you who may not be able to see it, manda main chat එකේ දානවා link එකක්. Click on that link and you'll be able to weave. Can you all see the whiteboard, Lamai? Give me a thumbs up if you can see. Okay. Okay. Good. All right. Hurry. Okay, seems like everybody can see, eh? Hurry. So where we stopped last day was we were talking about water, right? So just to give a little recap, දැන් අද අලුතෙන් ආපු අයටයි අපේ හිටපු කට්ටියට revise වෙන්නයි. Just to give a little recap. Yes, Kushit.
Water.
We stopped at water, no? Today we have to do water, ne? Yes, yes. Today we have to do water. But we will just do a little recap of what we previously did. We started with organic and inorganic compounds, and we said that there are 4 main biomolecules. We said that's carbohydrates, there are proteins, there are lipids, and that there are nucleic acids. Then under carbohydrates, we said that carbohydrates are made up of 3 elements. What are they? Take it fast.
Monosaccharide.
Elements, the 3 elements.
Saccharide, disaccharide.
Yes, carbohydrates, there are 3 types as monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides. What are the elements? Elemental composition?
Carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen.
Carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, right? Yes. In the chat box also, I'm getting answers. Good. Then we said that there are 3 types of carbohydrates as monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides. Monosaccharides වල අපි කිව්වා there are 3 examples as glucose, fructose, and galactose, right? We talked about each of them separately. Disaccharides වල අපි කිව්වා there's maltose, sucrose, and lactose. Again, we talked about them a little bit. Then polysaccharides wala, we talked about starch, cellulose, and glycogen. Again, we learned a bit about each. And then we discussed the tests that we can conduct to identify carbohydrates. Neither. We did a test for glucose. Remember, we Benedict solution dala, we put it into a water bath, and we were able to see a color change, right? Blue, then green, yellow, orange, brick red precipitate. Then we did a test for sucrose. We did a test for starch. Neither. And then we talked about proteins. Proteins were there's carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. Then proteins are made up of amino acids, right? And then we also talked about tests to identify proteins. We talked about enzymes, right? Did we talk about enzymes, Amaya? Amylase dala white tile ka copy starch test ka kare?
Yes, teacher. Yes.
Yes, okay. So why did we talk about enzymes there? Because enzymes are also proteins. Then we talked about lipids, and we said that lipids are made up of fatty acids and glycerol. And what else did we say? Lipids were carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, තියෙනවා. And we also learned a test to identify lipids as a Sudan 3 test, right? And then we came to nucleic acids. Nucleic acids, there's DNA, there's RNA, they have different functions, and that nucleic acids are made up of nucleotides, right? Today we came to water. So as I heard, the last thing we wrote was given below are some specific properties of water. That's where we stopped. Ned? Am I right?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So, එකක් තමයි මම හිතන්නේ last week අපි චුට්ටක් discuss කරන්න නැති, but nevertheless we will start discussing it today also. One of the, don't write anything ළමයි, කිසිම එකක් ලියන්න එපා, just listen first because I will give time for you all to write. එකක් තමයි, a very special property of water is that, as we discussed last week, it is a good solvent. Good solvent in the sense, most of the things can dissolve well in water. Right? Then even in our day-to-day life, පේන්නද board එක? ඉන්න බලන්න. Click on the link that I just sent, Jevindu, and see if you can see the board. මට බලලා කියන්න, let me know. So good solvent එකක් කිව්වම ගොඩක් ඒවා water වල dissolve වෙනවා. Okay. So now ළමයි, if you take the cells, now you know all the organisms අපි හදිලා තියෙන cells වලින්. Cells are little tiny things that you can't see. Normally you have to use a microscope to see them. So inside these cells, these are a few cells ළමයි, yeah? Inside these cells, there are different chemical reactions happening, right? These chemical reactions can happen because there is water inside cells. So water gives a nice medium for the chemical reactions to happen. Okay, Jamindu. So water inside the cells give a very good medium for chemical reactions to happen, right? So that is one example for water being a good solvent. ඒ විතරක් නෙවෙයි ළමයි, if you take the outside of cells. Now this may outside of cells. Now these are inside, outside the cells part. Even outside the cells, there are liquids. Remember cells earlier, there are liquids. We call it extracellular fluid. Extracellular fluid is the fluid or the liquid that is outside the cells. Even the extracellular fluid, lamai, has a lot of water. So many things can dissolve well in the extracellular fluid because it has water. Okay. And then what else? Mamika last week with Kiwa, a very practical, a day-to-day experience that we have is that, let's say on a particular day, you don't drink enough water. What will the color of your urine be? Will it be like a very pale color or will it be like very yellow? On a particular day, you don't drink enough water. What will be the color of your urine? Okay, others? Anyone else who has experience?
Yellow.
Yeah, it is yellow color. Why? Because vathura nahane, vathura nathi na godak yellow but pain. Yeah, sometimes dark yellow, sometimes even like a light brown shade, right? So that is nothing bad can bad. There are all the toxins in the body. So it's too strong. It's not good for your urinary system. Urinary system tissues damage, because these are all toxins. No? That's why you have to drink a lot of water. When you drink a lot of water, your urine will be like a pale color. Almost white, almost transparent. That means all the toxins in your body properly dissolves in water and it's very easy to remove. Strong your urine is not very strong, so it doesn't damage the urinary system. Therefore, when you drink a lot of water, that happens. That means all these excretory material in urine, they dissolve well in water. Same with fecal matter. On days when you're not drinking enough water, your fecal matter becomes very like semi-solid. Semi-solid tamai fecal matter kohoma, but water bone nathirama solid vena. So it's very difficult to remove feces. Okay? Yes, Tala.
Why it's being yellow color?
You mean urine?
Yeah.
Urine has a few pigments, right? Urine hadila thina, there's one called, we will be discussing this in grade 11, but there's one part called urea. There's another part called uric acid. Yellow color. Urea and uric acid gives that yellow color. Okay. When you don't drink enough water, there's too much urea and uric acid, it will be very concentrated. That is why it's yellow. But when you drink a lot of water, that yellow is dissolving in water. එතකොට yellow color එක ගොඩක් අඩුවෙන් තමයි එන්නේ. Okay, Sala?
Okay, miss.
Okay. So these systems in your body, we are learning it in great detail, in great level. Okay. So එතකොට excretory material අයින් කරන්න, fecal matter අයින් කරන්න. You know, Lama, even our sweat, you know, we produce sweat, especially living in Sri Lanka. So sweat is also an excretory material. එතකොට හිතන්න ඕගොල්ලෝ වතුර බොන්නේ නැහැ කියලා. Your sweat will smell a little, no? It will be a bit smelly. I mean, that's again something that we all have experienced. එතකොට හොඳට වතුර බොනවා නම් your sweat won't be as smelly. I smell වෙන්නේ මොකද වතුර අඩු හින්දා අර sweat වල තියෙන particles concentrate වෙලා. But when you drink a lot of water, එහෙම ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. So that is, so those, all of those, because water is a good solvent, it's very easy to dissolve. One more thing. What about now? Okay. What is the gas that we respirate and what is the gas that we breathe in? What do we breathe in?
Oxygen.
What do we breathe out?
Carbon
dioxide.
Yeah, mainly carbon dioxide. So, අපි විතරක් නෙවෙයි oxygen breathe කරන්නේ. Okay. Let's consider like a pond or a lake or a river or anything like that. So there are different organisms and different species living. අපි හිතමු fish ලා ඉන්නවා, ඊට පස්සේ තව චූටි animals ලා ඉන්නවා, like little tiny things, and there are like little worms and all that, and then there are plants. මේ ඔක්කොටම breathe කරන්න oxygen ඕනේ නේද? Now if you take us, it's very easy for us to breathe oxygen because there's plenty of oxygen in the atmosphere. However, aquatic organisms අර atmosphere එකක් නැහැ. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ වටේ තියෙන water. ඒගොල්ලන්ට කොහෙන්ද oxygen එතකොට?
Oxygen is dissolved in the water.
Very good. Oxygen is dissolving in water. That means again, oxygen can dissolve because water is a good solvent, neither. So all of these are, all of these are because water is a good solvent. Nave, do you have any question? Okay. So එතකොට what did we talk about so far? Cell එක ඇතුලේ biochemical reactions වලට water ඕනේ. Cell එක එළිය in the extracellular fluid there's water. To remove feces and excretory material, we need water. Then for aquatic organisms to breathe, there is water. Tisari, can you see the board now?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, great. So එතකොට these are all examples for water being a good solvent. එහෙනම් අපි ඒක මුලින් ලියලා ඊටු ටික discuss කරමු. So අපි අන්තිමට ලියුවේ අර point එකනේ. So we will write number 1 කියලා දාලා Okay, start writing, Lamai. We will write a few points. ඔයගොල්ලෝ මාත් එක්කම ලියන්න. එතකොට we can save time. Okay. Jituli, one thing is that when you're getting absent, let me know. And also make sure that you request the recording. අනිවාර්ය recording ඉල්ලගන්න නැත්නම් you miss a lot no. ඒතර ඒ සති ටික miss වෙන එක නේ අනිවාර්ය recording ඉල්ලගන්න, not just her, everybody else. If you are getting absent, number 1, let me know. Number 2 is make sure that you request the recording from me. Okay. So can somebody, Jituli, do you have a CR book?
Yes, miss.
Okay, can somebody tell me how many pages we wrote last week? මට අගල බලලා කියන්න අපි last week කොච්චර ලිව්වද කියලා?
1 page and a half, teacher.
One page as in one side.
No, teacher, 2 sides and a half.
2 sides and a half. Okay. Jitul, it's 2 sides and a half. Okay.
Thank you, miss.
Okay. Quickly write these points. Okay. Okay, Hirumali. Okay, so those of you who were absent last week, mata WhatsApp එකේ අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම දාලා recording එක ඉල්ල ගන්න. A few of y'all I think got the recording because last week I think we had the class on 30th. So today the 30th and maths class was on 31st. So those two were not very good days. So most of you were absent. ඒකින්ද absent කට්ටිය අනිවාර්ය recording ඉල්ල ගන්න. මේ don't put it on Zoom. දැන් Zoom එකෙත් මට කිව්වට කමක් නැහැ but WhatsApp එකේ දාන්න because Zoom chat box එක මගේ නැති වෙනවා after the class. So let me know on WhatsApp, everybody. Yeah, those of you who are absent. Quickly write. I can't see the board. Aisha, I will send a link to you now. Click on that link and see if you still cannot see the board. main chat එකේ දාන්නම් link එකක්. Shanaz, can you see the board? I'm just seeing some messages now. Aisha, can you see the board now? Also, I have a question in the chat box. What will happen if we what will happen if we drink too much water? So, it's very rare that that kind of a situation happens. මොකද ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපි නිකන් let's say we are drinking 3 to 4 liters වගේ බොන්න පුළුවන් අපිට දවසක් ඇතුළත, right? And also like when we drink water, like we drink water when we're thirsty, ඒතකොට එහෙම ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට when we drink too much water means we try to force drinking a lot of water. When we try to force drinking a lot of water, because our body is used to a certain amount of water only. අපි එකපාරට ගොඩක් water බොන්න පටන් ගත්තා අපිට vomit වෙන්න එනවා, nauseous වෙනවා, නිකන් ඔළුව රිදෙනවා, ඒ කියන්නේ නිකන් dizzy වගේ වෙනවා, right? So that is mainly because අපේ body එකේ තියෙන nutrients only need a certain amount of water. වැඩිපුර water එනකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ? nutrients වල water වැඩි. ඒතර අපේ body එකට absorb කරගන්න nutrients absorb කරගන්න අමාරුයි. So when our body doesn't absorb nutrients properly, our body becomes weak, we feel nauseous, it was a dizzy වගේ වෙනවා, සමහරට muscle cramps එමත් එනවා, වතුර ගොඩක් බිව්වා. We feel bloated. So it's very rare that kind of a situation happens, but it's not impossible. Could happen. I hope all of you are writing. I will give you 2 more minutes and then we'll move on to the next part. Okay, let's move on to the next part. So water, everybody done? Give me a thumbs up. No, not yet. Okay, one more minute. අතරේ ළමයි a little something is අද අලුතෙන් join වෙච්ච කට්ටිය මට chat box එකේ message එකක් දානවද? අද අලුතෙන් join වෙච්ච අය, I remember some of y'all, but not everybody. So those of you who joined today for the first day, let me know in the chat box, please. Chat box එකේ දාන්න I'm new today or something like that. No worries, Maria. We just only wrote this. We discussed a bit and we wrote only this. Okay, let's move on to the next one. We say water is a coolant. What is a coolant means? Man chuttak mehara board එක move කරනවා to explain this. We say water has a high specific heat capacity. What does that mean? That means ළමයි high specific heat capacity කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා. මොකද්ද මේ කියන්නේ? That means මම එක last week උත් explain කරන්න නැති if you take water, let's say this is some water. This is some water. Water. When you give it heat, now what will happen when you give something heat? The temperature will increase, right? ඕන මේකට ඔයා heat දෙනකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ? Temperature එක වැඩි වෙනවා. The thing with water is that you give a little bit of you give a little bit of heat. What on temperature measure කරන්න පුළුවන් thermometer එකකින්. ඔයා heat ටිකක් දෙනවා, the temperature doesn't increase. You give some more heat. You give some more heat, still the temperature doesn't increase. You give some more heat, still the temperature doesn't increase. ඔයා එතකොට තවත් heat ටිකක් දෙනවා, එතකොට තමයි temperature එක එකක් වැඩි වෙන්නේ. That means water can take a lot of heat without increasing the temperature. Yani අර හොඳ capacity එකක් තියෙනවා. Okay? So water has a lot of capacity to bear heat. එයාට heat එක ඇතුලේ hold කරගන්න පුළුවන් ගොඩක් වෙලා temperature එක වැඩි කරන්න නැතුව. අරගෙන තවත් යාට tolerate කරන්න බැරි වුණාම විතරක් temperature එක එකකින් වැඩි කරනවා. So that is actually very good. Because if you take our body, in our body, right? In our body, there's a lot of water. ගොඩක් තියෙනවා වතුර. blood වල වතුර තියෙනවා. Then there's the extracellular fluid that we talked about. These are all water. එතකොට ළමයි හිතන්න එළිය ගොඩක් රස්නේ දවසක්. There's a lot of heat coming from outside. Okay. එතකොට අපේ body එකේ වතුර ගොඩක් තියෙනවනේ. අපේ body එකේ වතුර ටික එළිය heat absorb කරලා temperature එක ටට්ටක් ගාලා වැඩි කරොත් හොඳයිද? Is that a good thing? If the water in our body absorbs the temperature from outside and increase the temperature ටට්ටක් ගාලා, is that a good thing?
No.
Of course not. No, it's not a good thing because then it will be a fever. අපේ ළමයි body temperature එක cannot change just නිකන් ඕන විදියට change වෙන්න බෑ. It's very important that our body temperature doesn't change. හදිස්සියක් වෙලා ලෙඩක් වගේ වුණොත් මිසක් අපේ body temperature එක වෙනස් වෙන්න බෑ. Therefore, now thankfully water doesn't do that. Water එළිය ගොඩක් heat absorb කරගන්නවා යා, but it will not increase temperature. ගොඩක් absorb කළ බැරිම තැන තමයි එකක් හරි temperature වැඩි කරන්නේ. So that is a good thing, no? That is a good thing. So it helps to keep our body cool. Temperature වැඩි කරන්නේ නැහැනේ ලේසියෙන්. So it helps to keep our body cool. Not just our body, for more, you know, in vehicles also we put a little bit of water, right? මට හරියටම vehicle terms හරියටම දන්නේ නැහැ, but you know in the engine you put a bit of water. So boys might know, even girls might know. So අපි water දාන්නේ to cool, right? As a coolant. So therefore we say water is a good coolant. Is that clear, Lamai? Is that clear?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. All right. එහෙනම් අපි ඒකත් ලියමු ටක් ගාලා, right? මාත් එක්කම ඔයගොල්ලෝ ලියන්න. එතකොට we can save time. මම මුල දවස් ටික හින්දා තමයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ මෙච්චර හරි time දෙන්නේ. Otherwise I don't give a lot of time. මොකද something that I'm trying to help you practice is writing fast. මම ඒක ඔයාලට කලිනුත් කියන්නේ නැති, you have to learn to write fast. Quickly write these 3 points, make it really fast. I have a question. I'm sorry if there's a lot of noise. මෙතන පොඩ පාරේ noise එකක් එනවා. But anyways, I have a question in the chat box. What will happen if you drink a lot of hot water? Generally, Gapto, drinking hot water is good. You may have heard it already. Rather than drinking cold water, because I think most of you prefer to drink cold water. But rather than drinking cold water, drinking hot water is good. මොකද දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ කන කෑමේම it's easy to digest. When you drink hot water, it's easy to digest the food. Then even our muscles, when we drink cold water, our muscles put a stiffen. But when we drink hot water, our muscles become relaxed. And then also when we drink a lot of hot water, yes, it burns the fat in the body. It helps to burn the fat. It helps with the constipation. Hot water බොනවා නම් constipation එනවා අඩුයි. It helps to remove the feces easily. Because අපේ like blood හොඳට flow වෙනවා. ඒ වගේ ගොඩක් හොඳ දේවල් තියෙනවා. And even like අපේ body එකේ හිතන්න දැන් throat එකේ එහෙම there's let's say a virus or a bacteria, but when we drink hot water they can also be destroyed. ඒකනේ උගුරේ අමාරුව තියෙන sore throat වගේ තියෙදි hot water බොන්න කියන්නේ. It destroys all the bacteria and virus. So generally hot water is a good thing. But if you drink like a lot ඕනම දෙයක් ළමයි ඕනාවට වඩා හොඳ නැහැ. You have heard of this, right? ඕනම දෙයක් ඕනාවට වඩා ඕන නැහැ කියලා. Anything too much, problem. So when you drink a lot of hot water, what happens is that එකක් තමයි එක දිගට hot water නිතරම බොනකොට අපේ මේ you know our mouth and then our digestive tract මෙහෙම බට තියෙනවානේ. They can be like, there can be burns and they can be like irritated and also they can be a bit dry. So that's not good. නිතරම hot water බොන්න හොඳ නැහැ. Okay? So another thing is that when you drink hot water means a lot of heat, but there's certain amount of heat. එතකොට ඔයාට මේ දාඩි දානවා වැඩි. Too much sweating. එතකොට දාඩිය ගොඩක් යනවා කියන්නේ අපේ බොඩි එකේ වතුර ගොඩක් නැති වෙනවා. එතකොට you feel dehydrated, right? So ඊට අමතරව even like your systems like you know digestive system එක උනත් ඕනාට වඩා උණු වතුර බොනකොට like it kind of gets overstimulated. එතකොට digestion එකේ process එක ටිකක් off වෙනවා. So ඒ වගේ ගොඩ අන්තක නිතරම එතකොට loose motion වගේ යනවා. ඒතර ඒ වගේ ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා. So ඒකින්ද කොහොමත් hot water බොන එක හොඳයි, but even then it's not good to drink very hot water. Certain temperature is okay. චුට්ටක් රත් කළ බිව්වට කමක් නැහැ. Okay? So as I said, ඕනම දෙයක් ඕනවට වඩා හොඳ නැහැ. Okay? All right, everybody done? Shall we move on? Good. Third point is, mum podak board move kara. So another, what's this? Sorry, 1 second. Okay. Another important property of water is that water has a high cohesive and adhesive forces. That means, let's say a plant. Plant ke mehme roots thiyena. Then mehme leaves and branches and all that. Where does a plant obtain water?
From roots.
From roots, right? Through roots, the plant gets water from the soil. Now, let's say we are botala karam vatura mehem vatura tika halana. Will water ever go up or will it go down? When you spill some
go
water?
down.
Yes, it goes down all the time because of gravity. But what about the plant? May root swelling absorb karana water tika udata yana. The water that is absorbed by roots will go up. It has to go up, right? Because uda branches tiyanava, flowers tiyanava, fruits tiyanava, leaves tiyanava. For all of those, water is needed. So all this water go up, up, up. The samane water pallata yanne. Me udata yanne kohomada? හරියට නිකන්ලා මම මේකට උගන්ට last week example එකකුත් කිව්වා. Let's say චූටි කාලේ Montessori හරි preschool නැත්නම් grade 1 2 යන කාලේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ පොලිමට නේද යන්නේ. එක්කෙනෙක් ඉස්සරහින් යනවා එයාගේ shoulders වලට අත තියාගෙන පිටිපස්සේ කෙනා යනවා. then එයාගේ shoulders වලට අත තියාගෙන තව එක්කෙනෙක් යනවා. එහෙම පොලිමක් like making a little queue එකක තමයි යන්නේ. ඒ වගේ තමයි water, right? So let's say this is one water molecule. Okay. එයාගේ පස්සෙන් එනවා තව water molecule එක. එයාගේ පස්සෙන් එනවා තව water molecule එක. Likewise, this is like a queue of water molecules, like this. When you take these water molecules, they never travel alone. තනියෙන් යන්නේ නැහැ. එයා යනකොට පිටිපස්ස කටිය ඇදගෙන යන්නේ. So let's say මෙයා මෙහෙම උඩට යනවා කියලා. මෙන්න මේ water molecules දෙකක් ගත්තොත් between these water molecules there's like an attraction. පොඩි attraction එකක් තියෙනවා. එතකොට මේ first water molecule එක උඩට යද්දි මේ දෙවෙනි එකනත් ඇදගෙන යනවා. All right? Then if you take the second water molecule and third water molecule, again there's a bit of an attraction. So when the second water molecule is going up, the third water molecule will also be dragged upwards. Likewise, between water molecules, there are these attractions. Attractions, so it's easy for them to actually move. When one is the front one is moving, all the back water molecules will be dragged forward with it because all of them have attractive forces. So they are all attracted. So these are called cohesive forces. The forces between water molecules, we call them cohesive forces. And it's not just cohesive forces. Then we have water, we have plant, sorry, the stem is plant, right? So we have stem, stem is wall. Let me draw it here a bit closer like this. When water is moving up, water attractions water will go and form an attraction with the stem as well. Water will form an attraction with the stem as well. These are called adhesive forces. The forces between water molecules, water, we are call them cohesive. Water with something else, we call them adhesive. So these forces make it very easy for water to transport. A water molecule, all the water will be moving all together. So that is what we call cohesive and adhesive forces. So I have a very good question. How will the first water molecule go upwards in the first place? Is there no gravity inside the tree? That is a good question. But I will not explain that until we write this. I'll tell you why, because that may explain pattern keyword. So I will explain that. That is a very good question. But let's first write this. Did you understand cohesive and adhesive forces? First of all of you. Yes. In simple terms, Lamai, harima simple with the keyword. Cohesive water molecules, between water molecules in attractions. When there's one water molecule, there's another water molecule, there's another one. So between water molecules, there are attractions. They are called cohesive forces. water forming an attraction with something else. It could be the stem, it could be some other wall, something else. If water forms an attraction, we call it an adhesive force. So it's not just in plants, lamai. Also, දැන් අපේ body එකේ blood තියෙනවානේ. දැන් මෙහෙම blood තියෙන මෙහෙම tubes ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. There are tubes. Yes, Sasheli.
Ma'am, does like adhesive means like with like get like
Adhesive
The-
means water. Yes.
attraction between only like stems and stuff without other water molecules?
Yeah, without other water molecules, but it doesn't have to necessarily be a stem. When water forms an attraction with anything else other than water, it's an adhesive force. With water, it's cohesive. Okay. Did you understand, Sasheli? Okay. So if you take our blood in the body of human beings, we have a lot of tubes. So blood also has a lot of water, right? So me water yaddi blood wala, these are little water molecules. They also have cohesive forces. Between water molecules, there are forces. Then water also forms attractions with the wall of the tube, then with like certain other minerals. Minerals attractions are there. They are called adhesive forces. Okay. So therefore, it's very easy for water to transport. Water to transport because of cohesive and adhesive forces. Is that clear? Because if you take oil amaru transport karana chutta. The oil samane droplets will to separate when වැඩි. Water harima smooth. It's a very nice smooth flow. That is because water, there are cohesive forces, and water with others. It could be the wall of a stem, it could be the wall of a blood vessel, it could be like certain mineral particles or anything like that. Anik katiyataka hadan attractions, we call them adhesive. Except for Shweta's question, everything else is clear to all of you. Give me a thumbs up. If you have questions, you can ask. Okay. Yes, Nikini. Okay, all right. Then we will write that as well, and then I will answer to that question. Third one. අපි අද මේ lesson එක ඉක්මනට ඉවර කරලා second lesson චුට්ටක් හරි පටන් ගන්න ඕනේ. So see, මෙතන මේ sentence එක ගත්තොත් since water has a lot, since blood has a lot of water, yes, water attractions තියෙනවා, so blood will nicely flow. In addition to that, blood එක flow වෙනවා එක vitamins, minerals, අපි කාපු කැම්බල nutrients. So water also forms attractions with them. නැත්නම් water එකත් එක්ක ඒගොල්ලන්ට යන්න අමාරුයිනේ. Let's say vitamin C or vitamin C tablet එකක් බිව්වම there's vitamin C. That vitamin C has to go with water. Along with blood, it has to go. So water forms an attraction with vitamin C. That is adhesive force. Then it's easy for that vitamin C to also flow with blood. This is the first lesson, yes. Hirumali me number එක මට WhatsApp එකේ එවන්න පුළුවන්ද? Oh, wait one second, let me copy this number to somewhere. Are you in the WhatsApp group? I didn't write the point in the third one. Why not? Metaka peenawaneda Shanas, can you see the board? You're not. How come? You came to the class a few days, no? Or did you only come the first day? Pirumali. Okay, hari. Mama me number ke message එකක් දාන්න. Yes, Sala.
Board is on side, miss. I cannot see the half points.
Wait 1 second. Can you see it now?
Okay, miss. Fine.
Okay, great. Quickly right. I have some other questions. So I have a question. I'm sorry, Lamai. I have a question. Got the question I can read. Blood runs thicker than water. Blood runs thicker than water is like a proverb නේද නිකන් අපි මෙහෙමයි. අපි නිකන් කියනවනේ නිකන් වචනයට කියනවා like to show that family relationships are stronger කියන එකටත් අපි කියනනේ blood is thicker than water කියලා. ඒක that's a proverb. But in real life, scientifically ගත්තොත්, yes, blood is actually thicker than water because blood has a lot of pigments. Blood වල hemoglobin කියලා જાතියක් තියෙනවා. Then there are like nutrients, vitamins, minerals, all of them dissolved. So water is a very light liquid. Water හරිම light. හරි සැහැල්ලුයි. But if you take blood, it's very thick because of all these things that are dissolved in blood. Yes. All right. Okay, Hirumali. I will drop you a text on WhatsApp. We can't take too long. Okay, 1 more minute. 1 more minute, make it really fast. Okay. අතරේ අලුතෙන් ආපු කට්ටිය if you are planning to continue the class and you don't know which WhatsApp number to contact, I will give you all a WhatsApp number. It's this one. 071 because ඒක මගෙන් previous classes වල ළමයි අහපු ප්‍රශ්නයක් ගොඩක්. 7 because I think a lot of you guys must be in the waiting group. So ඒකේ මම message කරන number එකම තමයි. But just in case, I will give you the number here as well. This is that number. So if you are interested in continuing the class and you want to let me know, you can use this number. This is the same number as what I use on WhatsApp in the waiting group. Hurry, let's move on. Lastly, we have something called differential expansion in freezing. Differential expansion in freezing කියන්නේ මේකත් මම last week පොඩක් explain කරන්න ඇති. I'm going to move the whiteboard. Okay. So usually ළමයි solid things have a higher density than liquids. Solid කියන ටික බරයිනේ. Liquid එකට වඩා solid එක generally බරයි. But in water වල solid form එක මොකක්ද? What is the solid form of water? So what is liquid now? What is the solid? Ice. Ice is a solid form of water. Now lamai, ice is supposed, because it's a solid, it's supposed to have a higher density than water. However, in the case of water, ice have a less density than water. Why is this important? Let's say aquatic habitat එකක් මෙහෙම plants තියෙනවා. මෙහෙම animals ඉන්නවා like fishes and all that. So may ice, let's say ice had a higher density than water. අපි හිතමු ice වල density එක water වලට වඩා වැඩි කියලා. Which point, Shanaz? Can you see the board? Thisari, can you see the board now? There seems to be a problem. Still can't?
Yeah.
Why is that? Let me see.
Can you move it upwards?
Up like this? Or the other way? Like this?
Other way.
මෙහෙමද?
Oh.
Okay. ඒ අතරේ මං හිතන්නේ ඔයගලගේ පැත්තෙන් zoom කරන්න එපා board එක. So it might, I don't know, I'm not exactly sure about the technical part of it. Make it fast. Okay. Thisari done or still writing?
Done.
Okay. So we were discussing this now. Now ice is forming, right? Then we had an ice sticker. Let's say, just assume that the density of ice is higher. May density වැඩි වුණාම මෙන්න මෙහෙම පල්ලෙහානේ, because all the ice, when the density is high, they go down. So all the ice will form down here. Then what will happen to these plants? All the plants will die now, because plants ne bottom එකේ ඉන්නේ. But ice ටික ඇවිල්ලා bottom එකට ආවම plants ටික ඔක්කොම මැරෙනවා. And then මෙහෙම එක දිගට මෙහෙම ice හැදිලා තියෙනවා. So without plants, even animals cannot survive, because animals eat food from plants. නේද? හැබැයි thankfully මෙහෙම වෙන්නේ නැහැ. When ice is formed, ice have a lower density than water. So low density කට්ටිය හැමදේම උඩට යන්නේ නේ. So all the ice will, wherever the ice forms, all the ice will go up and form a layer above. ඔයගොල්ලෝ movies වල එහෙම දැකලා ඇති. Winter කාලේට like අර මේ water bodies like lakes, maybe rivers, maybe ponds, maybe on the top of it there's a nice layer. It might be thin or it might be thick. But when you break the ice layer, beneath that there's water. Have you noticed that? Have you seen that in a movie or like a video or somewhere? Yeah. Others? Yes. So that means ice floats on water and water is found beneath. So that is good. එතකොට මේ aquatic plants වලට and animals වල කිසි කරදරයක් නැහැ. They can survive very well because these I mean it will be cold, that's a different story, but still මේ plants වලට එහෙම damage වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Plants වලට damage වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියන්නේ animals will also be okay because animals will have food. Okay? So that is also a very good thing and we will write that as well. මේ number එක මම erase කරනවා. මම ඔයාලට main chat එකේ දාන්නම්. This is also the number if you want to call. Okay, so write the fourth point. Differential expansion in freezing. Math එකම ලියන්න, then we can save time. By the way, in your areas, is it raining? I heard that there's again a low pressure area in like Bay of Bengal. So I hope all of you are okay. දැනට නම් මොකද ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. මම දන්න විදිහට නිවුස් වල එහෙම තිබුණ නැති හින්දා. Let's hope nothing bad happens, no? Kind of rain, no? Even here, currently I'm in Colombo, even here it's very windy. But I heard that North Central, ඒ පැති වලට වහිනවා කියලා. අපේ පැති වලට wind එක විතරයි තියෙන්නේ. But I also heard that there's a landslide. There was a landslide warning somewhere. I can't remember where it was. But මම news වල දැක්කා landslide warning එකක් තිබ්බ. තව fishermen ලට එහෙම fishing වලට යන්න එපා කියලා තිබ්බා. Okay, quickly write. Anyways, Lama, this first lesson, some of you might find it a bit boring, but that's how biology is. There are certain biology lessons which are quite interesting. Grade 10 wala tiyena samhara lessons. I think the 6th lesson would be a bit interesting. But generally, most of the biology lessons tend to be a bit boring. But that's just how it is. You guys should get used to it. The boring කියලා අපිට biology නොකර ඉන්න බෑනේ. But the next lesson will be a physics lesson. Okay. I'll give 2 more minutes for others to finish writing.
Miss, which will be easy, biology, chemistry, or physics?
That's a very difficult question to answer because I think it depends on the person. ඕගලන් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් පාඩම් කරන වෙලාවට වැඩියෙන් කැමති වගේ නම් like storytelling කියන්න බෑ, but let's say studying වලට කැමති නම් you would prefer biology. But if you are more like ගණන් හදන්න කැමති, පාඩම් කරන්න වැඩි කැමති නැති කෙනෙක් නම් you would find physics easier. Chemistry is somewhere in the middle. That's what I feel for an exam. I mean, if you take myself, because in A-levels also I did science, in university also I did science. In masters also I'm doing science. So for me, I personally find biology easier. For me, at least. I used to also not like physics much. But I think that depends. ඔයගොල්ලන් ටිකක් කරන් යද්දි හිතේ මම මේකට තමයි වැඩිපුර කැමතියි කියලා. එහෙම හිතුනහම ඔයගොල්ලන් මතක තියාගන්න, if you don't like something, that is what you have to do more, unfortunately. Right? So I think ගොඩක් ඒකට එහෙම ජෙන්ඩර් එකක් කියලා කියන්නත් බැහැ, but in most, I mean the last 6 years that I've been doing classes, I kind of felt like boys prefer physics more and girls prefer biology more, because girls tend to study a bit more, but guys don't like study much. එහෙම පොඩි එකක් තියෙනවා, but මට ඒක එහෙම gender එකට කියලා දාන්න බෑ, because some girls are very good at physics, some boys are very good at biology. ඒකනේ එහෙම හරියටම කියන්න බෑ, but there is a little bit of something like that as well. ඔයගොල්ලන් ටිකක් කරන් යද්දි හිතේ මම වැඩිපුර කැමති මේකට කියලා, වැඩිපුර කැමති එක වැඩි කරන්න එපා. අඩුවෙන් කැමති එක තමයි වැඩියෙන් කරන්න ඕනේ. Because if you don't like something, that's what you usually don't do much නේ. ඒක තමයි weak තැන එතකොට. So I think Sala, you'll have to see. we'll wait for like, let's say 3-4 lessons more, and then you'll see which one you like more. Okay.
Okay, Miss.
Okay. All right. I think that's enough time. දැන් මෙතනින් පස්සේ මම බලන් ඉන්නේ නැහැ. ඔයගලන්ට ටයිම් එකක් දුන්නාම මේ ටයිම් එක ඉවර කරන්න ඕනේ. Somehow. Right? Because I told you your speed is something that I'm going to fix during the 2 years that we are staying together. Put a topic minerals. Put a topic minerals. Can you tell me an example of a mineral that we need for our body? අපේ body එකට ඕනි mineral එකක්, as like from what you know so far. Can you tell me at least one? එකක් හරි. Good. Okay. Potassium, iron, calcium. Yes. You know, iron වලටම iron tablets එහෙම බොනවා if you have iron deficiencies. ඊපස්සේ අම්මලා කියනවා හාමස්සු කන්න calcium තියනවා කියලා. Somebody was going to say something.
Potassium.
Calcium, yes.
Potassium.
Potassium, phosphorus, sodium, iodine. I'm getting answers in the chat box also. Very good. So these are all... Sorry, Sala?
Iron.
What is it? Iron, yes. Because ඉස්සර ඔයගලන්ට දැන් තියෙනවද දන්න අපේ ස්කෝලේ අපේ ස්කෝල් නෙමෙයි ගොඩක් schools වල back in the days there was this thing that they gave us iron tablets, and they gave like awareness about how important iron is for your body. එහෙම පොඩියක් තිබ්බ ඔයගලන්ගේ දැන් තියෙනවද දන්නේ නැහැ. But anyways, yes, minerals are something that we essentially need for our body. අපිට minerals නැති වුණාම we are going to face problems. Everything has to be in a balance in our body, okay? So आप ඔයගොල්ලෝ examples को iron, calcium, iodine, potassium, phosphorus, all of these minerals our body needs. අපි විතරක් නෙවෙයි ළමයි, even plants, they also need minerals, okay? So එතකොට okay Senudi, no worries. Let me know on WhatsApp. මට WhatsApp message එකක් දාලා තියන්න. Okay. So එතකොට certain minerals ළමයි we need quite a bit. සමහර ටිකක් ඕනේ. සමහර minerals අපිට ඕනේ මානව චුට්ටයි. Certain minerals we need a certain quantity. Certain minerals we need only a little bit. Right? So the minerals that we need a certain amount, we call them macro elements. අපිට සමහරට වැඩිපුර ඒගොල්ලන්ව ඕනේ. There are certain elements, as I said, we need a little bit, a tiny amount. We call them trace elements. Harida. So if you take our body, අපේ body එකේ ළමයි අපේ මුළු body weight එක ගත්තා. Let's say you're like, you may be 50 kilograms, 60 kilograms, 70 kilograms, 40 kilograms, I don't know. You have different weights, no? If you take your entire body and you take 7% of that, 7% will be minerals. 7% of your body weight will be minerals. ඒකෙනුත් වැඩිම තියෙන calcium and phosphorus. And other elements are also present. Okay? So, before we talk about each and every mineral, we will write these few points. මාත් එක්කම ලියා ගන්න. I hope you are writing with me, yeah? මාත් එක්කම ලියන්න. මම වැඩි time දෙන්නේ නැහැ. I'm going to be very strict about how much time I'm going to give you. Okay, quickly write this. මෙන්න ටික ලියන්න මම 3 minutes දෙන්න. 3 minutes. Can you see now that, Sarani? Can you see it now? No. Can you see the board? But not the diagram. Mang move කරන්න ඕනද? Do I have to move up or down? I think you can also move the board now. ඔගන්ටත් board එක පොඩ්ඩක් move කරන්න පුළුවන් විදිහට මම හදලා තියෙනවා. Can't see the arrow. Okay, why is this? Zoom is acting very weirdly these days. Can you all try to move from your end? ඔගලගේ පැත්තෙන් move කරන්න පුළුවන්ද බලන්න board එක? මම දැන් හදලා තියෙන විදිහට ඔගලගේ පැත්තෙන් move කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න හදලා තියෙන්නේ. Without touching things too much. වැඩි අරමේ ඔබන්න යන්න එපා. It messes up everything. But okay, all right. You have about 30 seconds more. So one more thing that in December I said that I mean every week I marked your attendance, but I don't think I ever sent any attendance sheets to you. But in January, one of the main things that I told myself is that මම හැම week එකෙම අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ඔයගලන්ගේ attendance කොහොමත් mark වෙනවා ඔයගලන්ගේ. But I will send that attendance to the group so that you are aware whether you were present or absent, and I'm also aware whether you were present or absent. Some other weeks you are absent and you don't even remember that you were absent. So ඔයගන්ට අඩුම තරමේ recording කිල්ල ගන්න මතක් වෙන්නේ නැහැනේ. හැබැයි group එකේ මම දැම්මහම who were absent, who were not absent, then you at least know I was absent, so I should ask for the recording. Okay? So attendance mark penne, absent, present, who joined late and who left early. එතකොට present කට්ටියට අවුලක් නැහැ. අනිත් කට්ටිය you have to get the recording and cover that particular part or the entire lesson that you missed. Okay, time's up. Anybody who needs more time? Okay, let's move on. Then lamai textbooks තියන කට්ටිය you can go to page 16. Textbooks නැති කට්ටිය do not worry because I will be putting that table onto my whiteboard here. One second. What do you mean your cousin will be joining the club? Okay, let me know on WhatsApp. Okay. So, these are a few minerals that our body needs. මේ අපේ body එකට ඕනේවා. Okay. බලන්න මෙතන for every mineral there are the functions of the minerals. What is the function of that particular mineral? මොකද්ද මේ mineral එක අපේ body එකේ කරන්නේ? And deficiency symptoms means if we don't get that mineral in the correct amount, there are certain bad things that happen in your body. Okay? මේ mineral එක ඔයාට හරියට ඕනේ required amount එකට ආවේ නැත්තම් there are bad things happening in your body. Those are deficiency symptoms. Okay? So we'll see. First one, excuse me. First one is potassium. Let's see. Controls the ion balance of the fluid. Now, in your body, there are many ions. Ions can මොනවාද නිකන් මෙන්න මෙහෙම charges තියෙන කට්ටිය. If you take like එකක් මෙන්න මෙහෙම කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා, this is potassium actually. මෙන්න මෙහෙම charge එකක් තියෙනවා. Then there are other ions like this. මෙහෙම එක ions ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. Ions means there are charges, plus minus වගේ charges තියෙනවා. එතකොට ඒව ගානට balance වෙලා තියෙන්න ඕනේ. One of the functions of potassium is that potassium helps to balance these ions. කියන්නේ charges තියෙන කට්ටිය balance කරන්න potassium උදව් කරනවා. Then potassium we need for the activity of heart and muscles. For our heart to function well, for our muscles to function well, potassium is very important. Transmission of nerve impulses. Okay. Let's say somebody came to me and pinched me. I would feel that. So if I came and pinched you, would you feel it? Why? I mean, of course, you would feel it. Why would you feel it? How do you feel it? When somebody came and pinched you, how would you feel it? Because of what? In our body, there is a system that transports messages. කවුරුහරි පින්ච් කරාම මේ පින්ච් කරපු මැසේජ් එක ආගේ බ්‍රේන් එකට යනවා. ඒතර ඔයාගේ බ්‍රේන් එක කියනවා ඒක නම් රිදුනා කියලා. So ඒ රිදිච්ච එක තමයි ඔයාට දැනෙන්නේ. Okay. Then let's say let's take a very classic example. හිතන්න there's a dog. Okay, there's a dog that looks very scary. Like, you know, that ටික විරිත්තගෙන, like, you know, salivating and barking very loudly, very scary looking. And that dog is running towards you. What would you do? What would you do?
Turn
Run.
around and run.
Run. Yes. Most probably you will run. Very rarely you might want to stay and maybe tame the dog, or can a dog heal hari nattang maybe I don't know, stay and fight with the dog, something like this. Some of you might want to do that, but most of us would want to run, right? එතකොට මොකක්ද එතන උනේ? You saw the dog. ඔයාගේ ඇස් දෙකෙන් message එක දැක්කා. Then that message was sent to your brain. Then you hear the dog barking. Your ears hear the dog barking. That message was also sent to the brain. Brain එකෙන් කියනවා, this is not a good thing. You have to run කියලා. Run කියලා ඒ message එක යවනවා ඔයාගේ legs වලට. Then your legs will start running. And your hands also will move accordingly. මේ හැමතැනටම messages කියලා කියන්නේ මොනවාද? They are actually called nerve impulses. You may have heard of this, maybe you have heard, but ඉස්සරහට අපි කතා කරනවා. In our body, there's a system called nervous system. Nervous system එකේ තියෙනවා චූටි nerves කියලා જાතියක්. Nerves. ඔගලන් නිකන් it's a like day-to-day phrase, day-to-day term you may have heard. Nerves කියලා. So අර ඔක්කොම messages ටික transmit වෙන්නේ ඔය nerves වලින්. So when we say transmission of nerve impulses, potassium actually helps these messages to go well. So these messages, like let's say you see the dog, you hear the dog, that message goes to your brain, then your brain sends a message to your legs and hands to run. So all these messages are transported better because of potassium. So one of the functions of potassium is transmission of nerve impulses. Okay. Then let's say deficiency symptoms. Deficiency symptoms means ඔයාගේ body එකට හරියට potassium වැටුනේ නැත්තම්. If your body doesn't get enough potassium, what will happen? You know, see, potassium is important for muscles, right? So if your body doesn't get enough potassium, your muscles will be weakened. Your muscles will be very weak. පොඩ්ඩක් ඇවිද්දත් ඔයගලගේ කකුල් රිදෙනවා. ඇයි කකුල් වල muscles එතකොට weak වෙලා. Let's see, චුට්ටක් අතපතේ හරියට කළා move වුණොත් එimhe ඔයාගේ අත රිදෙනවා. The muscles will start to move, start to hurt. That is because your muscles are weak. Most of the times your muscles are weak because you don't have enough potassium. Then psychological disorders. Now you know potassium also helps to transmit nerve impulses. එතකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ? ඔයාට ඇඟේ potassium හරියට නැත්නම් හරියට nerve impulses, that means these messages don't go well. That will cause problems to your brain. And that is what we call psychological disorders. So එතකොට these are the functions of potassium and these are the deficiency symptoms of potassium. That means potassium හරියට body එකට ආවේ නැත්නම් this is how these are the things that happen, the bad things that happen in your body. Is that clear? Thumbs up. Everybody? Okay. Let's move on to the next one. මුකුත් ලියන්න එපා. Sodium. Because I'm not gonna let you write this. මේක මම ඔයගොල්ලෝ ලියන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ. මම ඒකට වෙන වැඩක් කරනවා. අපි පස්සේ බලමු. Let's see sodium. Sodium is the next mineral. Sodium is the next mineral. So, one of the functions of sodium is that sodium activates enzymes. Now, we already know what are enzymes, right? Enzymes they are used to speed up chemical reactions in the body. Ape body එක ඇතුලේ chemical reactions වෙනවනේ. But these chemical reactions are quite slow. But because of enzymes, these chemical reactions will be sped up. It can speed up කරනවා. Right? So enzymes වල function එක තමයි අපේ chemical reactions වල speed එක වැඩි කරන එක. But some of these enzymes, they are very inactive. කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලන් activate වෙලා නැහැ. හැබැයි sodium මොකද කරන්නේ? Sodium ගිහිල්ලා ඒ අදාළ enzymes activate කරනවා. So one of the functions of sodium is activating enzymes. Constituent of digestive juice. Don't move the board. Don't move the board. Constituent of digestive juice. Digestive juice can lamai. Now, when we eat something, that whatever the food that you eat becomes digested in your body, right? Let's say you eat rice and curry, that will be digested. Or let's say you eat pasta or like bread, that all that food will be digested. So when that food is digested, digest karana jati ape kena digestive juice kiyala. That digestive juice will only come and digest the food. So sodium is a part of that digestive juice. That means that digestive juice has sodium in it. Also to maintain constant osmotic pressure in cells. What does that mean? ළමයි osmotic pressure කියන එක ළඟ අනේ එක මුකුත් ලියන්න පම පස්සේ කියන්න. Some of y'all might have the textbook, no? I think all of you should get the textbook by this point. Textbook එක තියෙන කට්ටිය textbook එකේ පැත්තකින් ලියා ගන්න. අනිත් කට්ටිය පොතේ නිකන් පොතේ යටින් නිකන් ලියා ගන්න. Osmotic pressure equals water pressure කියලා. Otherwise, you don't know what that means. So just write osmotic pressure equals water pressure. Okay. Osmotic pressure කියන්නේ ළමයි දැන් අපේ body එකේ cells තියෙනවානේ. Do you remember in water we said that inside the cells there's water. Right? අපි කිව්ව ඔක්කොම reactions වෙන්නේ water වල කියලා. So inside our cells there's water, right? හැබැයි water ගානට තියෙන්න ඕනේ. Right? Let's say there's not enough water. වැඩිපුර water කියන්නේ වැඩි කියන්නේ if there's not enough water that is a problem. එතකොට ඇතුලේ water pressure එක අඩුයි. Let's say there's a lot of water, then that is also a problem because then the water pressure will be too much. So none of those are good. We need to maintain a constant water pressure in cells. Water වැඩි වෙන්නත් බෑ. එතකොට water pressure එක වැඩි වෙනවා. Water අඩු වෙන්නත් බෑ. ගානට එක level එකකට water තියෙන්න ඕනේ. So that will be maintained by sodium. So that is one of the functions of sodium. Again, just like potassium, sodium also helps to transmit nerve impulses. Remember, messages, right? Okay. Let's see what will happen if we don't get enough sodium in our body. Respiratory disorders. You will have a hard time breathing. Okay, breathing, respiration, there will be problems. Respiratory disorders. Then cramps. Because lunu salt has a bit actually a lot of sodium. අපි කන common salt, table salt වල sodium තියෙනවා. ඔයගලන් වැඩි ලුණු කන්න නැත්නම් ඔයගලන් නිතරම cramps එනවා. Again at the same time ගොඩක් ලුණු කන්න හොඳත් නැහැ, but ලුණු කන්න ඕනේ ගානට. We need a bit of salt because salt carries sodium. එතකොට if we don't get enough sodium we get cramps. You may have experienced cramps, no? නිකන් සමහර දුවනකොට එහෙම cramps එන්නේ. දුවන්නම ඕනේ නැහැ. නිකන් ඉන්නකොට සමහරට cramps එනවා. Then nausea. Nausea කියන්නේ nauseous ගතිය. ඒ කියන්නේ අර ඔළුව කැක්කුමයි, සෙමයි, වමන යන ගතියයි ඔක්කොම අර එකට තියෙන්නේ. That is what we call nauseous. යාර වමන යන්නේ vomit කරන්න වගේ එන්නේ. ඒක තමයි nauseous කියලා කියන්නේ. That is nausea. Then diarrhea. Diarrhea means loose motion. Diarrhea වලදී main symptom එක තමයි loose motion. So all of this happen when you don't get enough sodium in your body. Is sodium clear? Give me a thumbs up. Others? Okay, good. Let's move on to magnesium. Magnesium is another mineral that our body needs. Let's see what are the functions. Constituents of bones and teeth. Teeth and bones. All these bones. ඔළුවේ හැමත අපේ බොඩි එකේම bones තියෙන්නේ නේ. Skeleton එකක් දැකලා තියෙනව නේද? Have you all seen a skeleton ළමයි? In real life දැකලා තියෙන කට්ටිය ඉන්නවද skeleton එකක්? A human skeleton, just the bones? Anybody? Okay, great. In the science lab, yes. In the museum also, there are so many museums. Museum wala tiyena. Colombo Museum ekata, I think there was a skeleton. Even if it's not in real life, you may definitely have seen a skeleton in like movies or like videos or ekeka thang wala dakala ඇති. So anyhow, our body ethra skeleton එකක් දැක්කම ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පේනවා අපේ body එක entirely හැදිලා තියෙන්නේ bones වලින්. Right? ethra bones උඩින් තමයි muscles හැදිලා තියෙන්නේ. Okay? So magnesium is very important for our bones as well as our teeth. It also helps to control the nerve activity in skeletal muscles. ළමයි මෙතන පොඩි ඔයගලන්ගේ textbook එක තියෙනවා නම් එතනම ලියා ගන්න. But if you don't have the textbook, writing book එකේ ලියා ගන්න skeletal muscles කියලා ඉරක් ගහලා. Muscles that we can control. Example, hand, legs, face. Can you write this first? If you have the textbook, එතනම පැත්තෙන් ලියාගත්තට කමක් නැහැ. If you don't have the textbook, writing book එකේ ලියා ගන්න. Because at some point you will get the textbook now. Skeletal. Because ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේවා දන්නේ නැතුව වැඩක් නැහැනේ. මේක පාඩම් කරගන්න බෑ if you don't know. Okay. So, Lamai, I told you when you see that dog, that scary looking dog running towards you, what happens? Brain එක දැකලා brain එකට message එක ගියාම brain එක ඔයාගේ legs වලටයි hands වලටයි කියනවා then දුවන්න කියලා. Run. So your legs and hands are muscles that you can control නේද? ඔයාට පුළුවන් ඔයාගේ legs ඔයාට කැමති විදිහට move කරන්න, ඔයාගේ hands ඔයාට කැමති විදිහට move කරන්න. Even your face ඔයාට කැමති විදිහට move කරන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට ඒ move කරන එක the mineral that helps is magnesium. So if your brain sends a message to your legs or your hands or your face, that is helped by magnesium. So magnesium controls the nerve activity in skeletal muscles. So you might wonder, are there muscles that we cannot control? Of course, yes. Oga heart එක ළමයි, your heart is a muscle, but can you control your heart? ඔයාට හිතුනොත් එහෙම beat කරන්න නැතුව ඉන්න පුළුවන්. ඔයාට හිතන වෙලාවට heart beat එක වැඩි කරගන්න. Can you control your heart?
No.
No. Anybody who has controlled your heart? No. And let's say your stomach or like your urinary bladder. ඒ වගේ දේවල් ඔයගලන්ට ගොඩක් ඇතුලේ organs වල තියෙන muscles you can't control. So these skeletal muscles are only the muscles that you can control. So air wala nerve activity ka control karane magnesium. Also metabolic activities. Now again you might wonder what metabolic activities are. Eke hinda etanat podi point එකක් දාලා ලියන්න. If you have the textbook again textbook එකේ ලියන්න නැත්නම් writing book එකේ ලියන්න. පස්සේ textbook එකට දාන්න පුළුවන්. Metabolic activities කියන්නේ ළමයි chemical reactions in the body. අපේ body එකේ තියෙන chemical reactions වලට තමයි අපි metabolic activities කියලා කියන්නේ. The reason why I'm asking you to make these notes on the textbook itself is that මම මේක ආයිමත් අපේ writing book එකේ ලියවන්න නැහැ ඔයගලන්ට, right? Because obviously it's useless නේ මේ table එක මෙහෙමම textbook එකේ තියෙන එක අපි writing book එකට copy කරොත් වැඩක් නැහැනේ. We are just copy pasting. ඒකින්ද මේ table එක මේ tables ටික විතරක් you can study from the textbook. I'm not going to write a note. ඒකයි මම කිව්වේ ඒ අදාළ තැන් වල textbook එකේම පොඩ්ඩක් star එකක් දාලා ලියා ගන්න කියලා. because no point in copying these back to the note, back to the writing book again. We will just use the textbook table itself. Okay. What will happen if you don't get enough magnesium? High heartbeat. Your heart will start beating fast. That's not a good thing. When your heart starts beating fast, ඔයාගේ blood හැමතැනම ගිහලා හිර වෙනවා. එතකොට a person will die. So high heartbeat happens if you don't have enough magnesium in your body. Nerve irritability means your nerves don't function properly. ඔයගලන්ගේ අර nerves කියන්නේ messages ගෙනියන කට්ටියනේ. Nerves හරියට වැඩ කරන්නේ නැහැ if you have nerve irritability. Right? So nerve irritability is that your nerves don't function properly. Okay, so those are deficiency symptoms that happens when your body doesn't get enough magnesium.
Miss, what is irritability?
Irritability means, now let's say I pinch you. When I pinch you, you can feel it. Or let's say a dog is like a scary looking dog, you can see. So when there's a scary looking dog in front of you, you can see that. You can hear the dog barking. And again, as I said, let's say you touch something hot. You can feel that it's hot. ඒ වගේ ඔයාගේ sensory organs වලට මේ දේවල් feel වෙන එක. නැත්නම් sense වෙන එක තමයි අපි irritability කියලා කියන්නේ. That feature, that quality that you have, that what do you call it? Ability. The ability for your sensory organs to feel the sensors. Your eyes to be able to see things, your ears to be able to hear things, your nose to be able to smell things, your tongue to be able to taste things, then your skin to be able to feel things. That ability is what we call nerve irritability or irritability. Okay.
Okay, Miss.
Okay. So එතකොට ඇත්තටම nerve irritability වල වෙන්නේ පොඩි දෙයටත් ඔයාගේ body එක ගොඩක් react කරනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ irritability වැඩි එතකොට. Nerve irritability එතකොට that means irritability is too much. That means your nerves get excited for even the little bit, let's say or වැඩි hot, ඒ කියන්නේ ගොඩක් hot නෑ, පොඩි hot දෙයක් අල්ලනවා කියලා. ඇත්තටම it's not that hot. But your body will react too much. Your body will think it's too hot. So අර ඒ වගේ ඔයාගේ body එක චුට්ටක් ඒතර වැඩිපුර react කරනවා. That is a bit of a disorder. That's not very good. So magnesium අඩු වුණාම එහෙම වෙනවා. Then calcium. Let's see what happens. Calcium again helps for the growth of bones and teeth. ඒක කියන්නේ හාල්මැස්සෝ කන්න කියලා දත් වලට හොඳයි, bones වලට හොඳයි කියලා, because හාල්මැස්සෝ has a lot of calcium. Blood clotting. What is blood clotting? What is blood clotting? Let's say මෙහෙම වගේ අත තියෙනවා. Let's say මෙහෙම තමයි වගේ අත තියෙන්නේ. Okay. My drawings are very bad, but I hope you understand. හිතන්න ඔයගලන්ට ළමයි you get a wound. තුවාලයක් වෙනවා. සාමාන්‍ය පොඩි තුවාලයක් මෙහෙම වෙනවා. පොඩි නෙවෙයි සාමාන්‍ය තුවාලයක්. Let's say පොඩි මෙහෙම කට් එකක් වගේ තුවාලයක් එනවා කියලා. What will happen? Blood will start to flow out of this. Making blood flow වෙනවා එළියට. Blood will flow out of this. Will blood, I mean, it's not a big cut, it's a small cut. Will blood continuously flow out? දිගටම blood එළියට යනවද? You might have experienced, know what happens?
No.
Then what happens?
Miss, after a while, the blood will stop.
I didn't hear. I heard two of you answer, but එකක්වත් මට ඇහුන්නේ නැහැ. Tell me ළමයි. ඔයගලන් කියපු එක මට ආයෙ කියන්නකෝ.
The blood will stop.
Yes. Yes. In the chat box also I'm getting that answer. Yes. You have experience, no? The blood will, I mean, it will flow out continuously for some time, but after a few minutes it will stop. What if it doesn't stop? If you have a, let's say, a bruise or a wound or a cut or something, and blood flows out, ne? හිතන්න එක දිගටම blood යනවා කියලා. එතකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ? ඔයාගේ body එකේ තියෙන blood ටික අඩු වෙනවා. Then that person can even die. It can even cause death. But thankfully, එහෙම එක දිගට blood යන්නේ නැහැ. After some time, the blood will stop flowing. What happens is that ළමයි මම එක zoom කරන්න. දැන් මේ තුවාලේ blood යනවා. Blood ගියාට
It
පස්සේ
clots?
blood යනවා. Yes. Hirumari, do you have a question?
No, teacher. Does it like clot?
Yes, it clots. Yes. Yes. Very good. That's what happens.
Okay.
Okay. So blood මෙහෙම එක දිගට එළියට යනකොට after some time then blood වලට තේරෙනවා මෙන්න blood ටික ඔක්කොම එළියට යනවා, this is going to be a huge problem කියලා. blood මොකද කරන්නේ? මෙන්න මෙහෙම net එකක් වගේ හදනවා. Not on your skin, under the skin. So you can't see that net. Because of that net, so something like this. මෙන්න මෙහෙම net එකක් වගේ එකක් හදනවා. ඒ net එක හින්දා මොකද වෙන්නේ? blood ටික block වෙනවා. So blood will not flow out after that. Okay, so that blood will stop flowing out. This block or this net-like thing that blocks blood from flowing out, that is what we call blood clot. Body එකේ එළිය විතරක් නෙවෙයි body එක ඇතුලේ blood clots හදන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, so blood clots are good. Clotting of blood is good because otherwise you will lose all the blood. But sometimes it might not be that good. සමහරවිට blood vessels අතර clots හදුනහම block වුනහම blood හරියට යන්නේ නැහැ body එකේ. එහෙම ඒවා වෙන්න පුළුවන්. But generally blood clotting is good. So that the blood will not continuously flow out from your wounds. So calcium helps for blood clotting as well. Then proper function of nerves. Now you know what nerves are. Nerves are what carries messages. So proper function of nerves are helped by calcium. Milk production. So milk is not produced in regular, like all of us. But in breastfeeding mothers, like mothers who have just given birth, ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ milk හැදෙනවා. Mammary glands වල milk හැදෙනවා. Mammary glands are the breasts, mother's breasts. In the mother's breasts, milk is constantly produced. May milk production වලට calcium is very important. That is why ළමයි breastfeeding mothers need a lot of nutrients in their body. ඒගොල්ලන් calcium හැම mineral එකක්ම හොඳට ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ body එකේ තියෙන්න ඕනේ. So that they can their body can function well. So milk production is one of the functions. Then ළමයි absorption of vitamin B. Then අපේ body එකට අපි කන කෑම වලින් ගොඩක් vitamin B යනවා. හැබැයි vitamin B body එකට ගියාට විතරක් මන්ද your body has to be able to absorb. Calcium helps you to absorb that vitamin B. Vitamin B නිකන් අපි vitamin B, let's say අපි vitamin B කාලා ඊට පස්සේ vitamin B හැමම ගිහලා feces එක එළියට ගියොත් වැඩක් නැහැනේ. So vitamin B has to be absorbed. Otherwise, no point if it just goes out with feces, right? Calcium helps to absorb this vitamin B too. Let's see what will happen if we don't get enough calcium. Weakening of bones and teeth, growth disorders. මොකද්ද growth disorders කියලා කියන්නේ? සාමාන්‍ය ළමයි අපි එක එක ages වල එක එක විදිහට grow වෙනවා, right? So for an example, if you take until you're like 16, 17, 18 වගේ වෙනකන් ඕගොල්ලන් හොඳට grow වෙනවා. අපේ body එක දැන් ඕගොල්ලන්ගේම මගේ නැහැ, but ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ even my body, I mean there are certain like growths happening, but if you take yourself, not just your body, even your brain, ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ කාලේ දැන් teenage කාලේ ගොඩක් ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ body එක grow වෙනවා. So එතකොට එක එක කාලවලදී එක එක විදිහට grow වෙනවා. But if you don't get enough calcium, there will be problems in the growth. සමහර growth එක අඩු වෙන්න පුළුවන්. නැත්නම් ඒ වයසට අදාළ growth එක නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. අන්න ඒ වගේ ප්‍රශ්න එනවා. So growth disorders is another situation that happens if you don't have enough calcium. Then osteoporosis. Do you know anyone who has osteoporosis? Anybody who is familiar with osteoporosis? මොනවාද osteoporosis වල වෙන්නේ? Anybody who knows? No. Okay, I will tell you. Osteoporosis වල වෙන්නේ ළමයි your bones are supposed to be very strong, right? Bones are strong නේ. මේ bones වල චූටි hill හැදෙනවා. Right? Smaller holes like pores වගේ fractures වගේ. හැදුනාට පස්සේ bones වල strength එක නැති වෙනවා. So in osteoporosis what happens is that your bones become very weak. Very weak and it will cause fractures and all that. හරි ලේසියෙන් කැඩෙනවා bones. හිතන්න osteoporosis තියෙන කෙනෙක් පඩි පෙලකින් වගේ වැටුණා කියලා. බෝන් එක කැඩිලා යනවා. කොන්දේම කැඩෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක සමහර ඒවා ෆික්ස් කරන්නත් බෑ. So osteoporosis is a very bad disease, right? So එතන ඕන උගන්න ලියා ගන්න පුළුවන්. Bones become weak. Bones become weak. Osteoporosis වල වෙන්නේ ඒක. Your bones become very weak. Really? Do you take medication for that? I mean, no. You mean you know somebody?
No,
was wondering.
I had.
You had?
Yeah, until age
Ah.
of 10. Because it was my
Alright.
family problem from my father.
That comes with genes, no?
Yeah.
So what happened? Like, did you take medication or what?
Yeah, I had injections and a lot.
Injection. Now, is it okay now?
Yeah, now fine.
Now, okay, that's good. So what about your family? Are they okay?
My brother is taking injections now.
Oh, right. So how can I ask us one more question? How often are these injections happening?
Like 1 year.
Once a year, wage.
Yeah.
Right. That's interesting, and that's good that you guys are okay. So osteoporosis, especially like godak vayasaka kale, because anyways podi kale osteoporosis also happens, yes, because now that's a very good point. That's a good addition that it comes from genes. වයසක කාලේ හැම osteoporosis තියෙනකොට ටිකක් අමාරුයි. මොකද වයසක කට්ටියම ඒගොල්ලන්ට strength එක නැතිඳ වැටෙනවා. ඒ වගේ දේවල් වෙනවානේ. එතකොට අර bones weak වුණාම it's going to be a problem. Anyways, දැන් තරුණ කට්ටියක වගේ නෙවෙයි වයසක කට්ටියගේ their body doesn't fix easily. But in like children and young people up to like let's say age 40 වගේ කට්ටියගේ body එකේ මොකක් හරි දෙයක් වුණත් shape එක ඉක්මනට fix වෙනවා. But after the age of 40 පොඩ්ඩක් කියන්නේ ලෙඩක් හැදුනත් ඉක්මනට හොඳ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. අර එහෙම එකක් තියෙනවා. So yes, that is osteoporosis. Okay. Then let's move on to the next 3. Textbook තියෙන කට්ටිය you can see from the textbook, but for others I will share. Then ළමයි phosphorus. Okay. Phosphorus වල functions ළමයි, they also help for growth of bones and teeth, and they are a constituent of nucleic acid. ඔයගලන්ට මතකද when we were doing nucleic acids, we talked about something called nucleotides. We said that nucleic acids are made up of nucleotides. එතන ඔයගලන්ට මතකද එකක් තිබ්බා මෙන්න මෙහෙම තමයි nucleotide එකක් තියෙන්නේ කියලා කිව්වේ අපි. Do you remember that this was called the phosphate group? කාටද මතක? Who remembers this nucleotide? That this circle-like thing was called phosphate group. Do you remember? අනිත් මතක නෑ වගේනේ. So other first comers, I mean, what is it, Sala?
Pentose sugar.
Yeah, there was pentose sugar and then there was the nitrogenous base. Yes. So එක එකක් තමයි phosphate group. Newcomers I can excuse, but even newcomers they know. So ආපු කට්ටියට නම් ගහන්න ඕනේ මේක මතක නැත්තම්, okay? So you have to start. I mean, මම කියන්න ඕනේ හැම week එකෙම ඔයගොල්ලන් කලින් week එක ටික බලාගෙන එන්න ඕනේ. So if I ask a question, you should be able to instantly answer. Then for carbohydrate and fat metabolism. Carbohydrate and fat metabolism කියන්නේ ළමයි digesting. So when you eat carbohydrates, that carbohydrates have to be digested. When you eat fat, that means lipids, that also has to be digested. That digestion part is also, I mean, phosphorus helps for that. Then instant release of energy in muscles and nerves. Now let's say most of your muscles, they have to work fast. Now in this instant, I'm just sitting like this, not doing anything. So my muscles, they don't really need to work. But the next instant, මම ටක් ගාලා නැගිටලා දුවනවා. Then එකපාරට මගේ leg muscles වලට energy ඕනේ නේද? So let's say I'm not doing anything and I'm just sitting still. So my muscles don't need energy. But in the next instance, I quickly stand up and start running. Then my muscles suddenly need energy. So ඒකට ටක් ගාලා energy ඕනේ. ඒකටත් phosphorus උදව් කරනවා. Instant release of energy. Okay? So what will happen if your body doesn't get enough phosphorus? Your bones will become weak and fragile. Again, just like calcium, bones weak when you don't get enough phosphorus. Up to that point, is it clear, Lamai? Give me a thumbs up. Okay. Since we are done with the first lesson today, other at yes, other at lesson 1 worksheet. Next week with the in the worksheet there are MCQ questions and there are short answer questions. MCQ questions you just have to answer, underline. එතරේ worksheet එක ඔයගලන්ට print out එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන් නම් හොඳයි. නැත්නම් ඔයගලන්ට if you are okay with like having it on your computer or phone, it's okay. But I would prefer if you get a printout. අනිත් එක one more thing මම ඔයගලන්ට previous weeks වල කියන්න ඇති you need 2 books for the class. Writing books දෙකක් ඕනේ. එකක් ඕනේ for like normal notes. The other writing book you need for questions. එතන worksheets ඔක්කොම කරන්න ඕනේ අර question book එකේ. Right? I mean worksheets වල MCQs now you can just underline, but essay එක නෙමෙයි. Short answer questions වල answers ඔයගොල්ලෝ ලියන්න එපා. So ඒකට better to get a question book separately. Not just your writing book, better to get a separate book. And also ඔයගොල්ලන් මේ අවුරුදු දෙකේම continuously file එකක් maintain කරන්න ඕනේ. Right? ඒ file එකේ මම සමහර notes ඔයගලන්ට දෙනවා print කරන්න. Right? ඒතොරේ print කරන notes ඒ file එකේ තියෙන්න ඕනේ. Worksheets දෙනවා ඒ file එකේ තියෙන්න ඕනේ. You cannot misplace any note or any worksheet. මේ දෙනවා misplace කරගන්න එපා. සමහර ලාවට මං ගාව මොකද once about 2 years back I lost my laptop. So my laptop got stolen. ඊට පස්සේ එතකොට ළමයි මගේ notes ඉල්ලද්දි එහෙම පරණ දීපුවම මං ගාව තිබුණේ නැහැ. Because I lost all of them. So ඒ වගේ දේවල් මටත් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. I'm not saying that I'll lose my laptop, but things can happen. We don't know. So better you don't misplace any note and keep them very safe. ඒකින file එකක් හැම වෙලෙම maintain වෙන්න ඕනේ පිළිවෙලට. මම randomly ඔයගලන්ට ඔයගලන්ගෙන් අහන්න පුළුවන් කො file එක තියනවද? Can I see your file කියලා photo එකක් ගහලා එවන්න වෙයි ඔයගලන්ට, right? ඒ වෙලේට මට file එක නැහැ, මගේ file එක නැති වුණා, අමතක වුණා වගේ දේවල් කියන්න බෑ. Okay, that has to be constantly maintained. Worksheet එක yes, I will send it tonight. Class එක තාම ඉවර නෑ ළමයි. I'm just telling you. Worksheet එක මම අදට එවන්නම්. ඒතකොට ඒ ඔක්කොම next week වෙද්දි කරන් එන්න ඕනේ. And as I have already told you, the worksheet consists of O-level past paper questions. Right? So take it very seriously and do the worksheet. That's very important. Okay. Then our next mineral is iron. මොකද වෙන්නේ iron? Iron වල functions මොනවාද? Synthesis of hemoglobin. Have you heard of hemoglobin, lamai? What do you think is hemoglobin? Where is hemoglobin present, Kiana Balan? If you know.
In blood.
In blood.
Yes, in blood. In blood. So, මට පොඩි question එකක් තියෙනවා. Can we look at the book and do the paper? You can technically because ඔයගලන් බැලුවට කමක් නැහැ, and anyways I'm not there to check. But something that I would like to tell you is ඔයගලන්ට worksheet එකක් දුන්නාම ඒක ඔයගලන් හිතා ගන්න opportunity එකක්. This is an opportunity for me to study. Right? ඒක හින්දා I would prefer if you go through the note and you just like maybe study a bit and then try to do the worksheet without looking at the book. මුලින්ම try කරන්න. පොත බලන්න නැතුව කරන්න. මුලින්ම note එක go through කරලා ටිකක් study කරලා try to do the worksheet without looking at the book. Try කරලා ඔක්කොම පුළුවන් answers ටික ලියලා ඊට පස්සේ බැරි answers ටිකට විතරක් you refer to the book. I think that would be a better practice, no? එතකොට ඔයගලන්ට ඔයගලන්ගේ memory එකත් fix වෙලා you will study a bit, right? So I think that would be the best practice. First study it, go through the note, then do the worksheet, and after doing that, whatever the answers you couldn't write, then you can refer to the book and write those answers. Okay? Okay. So as you all said, yes, hemoglobin. Okay. So hemoglobin, yes, it's present in blood. Actually, Lamai, our blood is red color because of hemoglobin. Right? Hemoglobin thamai ape blood red කරන්නේ. අපි ඉස්සරහට hemoglobin ගැන කතා කරනවා, so I won't talk too much about it. But hemoglobin වලට iron ඕනේ. Then storage of oxygen in muscles. In our muscles, oxygen becomes and gets stored. We breathe oxygen, muscles will store. So that also needs iron as a constituent of enzymes. Now we already know what enzymes are. Enzymes lamai iron tiyan. Iron is present in enzymes. Then let's see what will happen if we don't have enough iron in the body. One is anemia. Anemia කියන්නේ ළමයි ඔයගොල්ලන් දැකලත් ඇති සමහර කට්ටිය ඉන්නවා ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ body එක හරිම pale, like very pale as in like skin is very pale. අපි කියන්නේ සුදු මැලි කියලා සිංහලෙන් කියන්නේ සුදු මැලි වෙලා කියලා. In English we call it like pale, like lips are naturally, I'm not saying everybody has like very pink or red lips, that's not possible, but generally lips වල තියෙනවානේ පොඩි skin tone එකට වඩා පොඩ්ඩක් dark නේ lips, but සමහර අයගේ lips are very like very light colored or very හරිම dry, කිසිම color එකක් නැහැ, මූණේ කිසිම color, body එකේ color එකක් නැහැ, very pale. That is called anemia. ඒක වෙන්නේ ඔයගලගේ body එකේ iron මදි වුණාම. When your body doesn't have enough iron ළමයි, එතකොට hemoglobin අඩුයි. Hemoglobin අඩු වුණාම your body is very pale. It doesn't have any color. I'm not talking about skin complexion. There are fair skinned people, there are tan skinned people, and there are white colored dark skinned people. I'm not talking about the skin color. I'm talking about the what do you call, like the quality of the skin. Quality as in pimples there, him and away. It's just
Lips
that your body, yes, lips crack whenever, lips wala color එකක් නැහැ. ඔයාගේ skin එකේ කිසි healthy ගතියක් නැහැ, හරිම pale, very like අර සුදු මැලි කියනවා වගේ. That is anemia. Hirumala, you have a question?
So, teacher, is it a bad thing?
Yes, it is a bad thing. මෙහෙමයි. සමහර අයගේ generally skin එක dry skin ගැන නෙමෙයි මම කතා කරන්නේ, because dry skin sometimes it comes with genes. I'm talking about pale skin. ගොඩක් pale වුණාම ඔයගලන්ට Google කරලා බලන්න පුළුවන් what does pale skin mean, or like pale skin on like fair කට්ටියගේ dark කට්ටියගෙන් බලන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට එහෙම වෙන එක හොඳ දෙයක් නෙවෙයි, because that means your body doesn't have enough hemoglobin. Hemoglobin නැහැ කියන්නේ iron deficiency එකක්. So that means definitely you have to consult a doctor and get iron tablets for that.
Okay.
Okay.
Teacher. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So these kind of things, Nama, it's very good that we know. Ogalan science amaleme itanne, I mean, yes, you have to write the exam, that is true. But also like godak අපේ daily life එකට හරිම similar නේ, අපිට හරිම relatable. Because now you guys ask questions. So some of these conditions you guys may also have, right? Anemia, that's very normal. අපි හැමෝම මිනිස්සුනේ නේ, අපි හැමෝටම ලෙඩ හැදෙනවා, ලෙඩ හොඳ වෙනවා, ආයෙ ලෙඩ වෙනවා. That's very normal. ඒතර මේ සමහර වෙලාව ඔයගලන්ට උනත් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. Okay? So it's very good that you're aware. සමහරට ඔයගලන්ගේ වටේ ඉන්න අයට, people around you might also have these conditions. Then if you know, you can also tell them. So these are very close to our life, very relatable. Then sleepiness. කම්මැලි කමර නින්ද යන එක නෙවෙයි ළමයි. Okay? So if you have like, if you get unnaturally sleepy, that could be because of an iron deficiency, right? If you feel unnaturally sleepy, that could be because of a iron deficiency. Then hypoactive nature. Hyperactive කියලා කියන්නේ මාරම active. ඔයගලන්ට ගොඩක් energy තියෙනවා. I mean ඔයගලන් හරි කවුරු හරි. ඔයගලන් සමහර දන්න කට්ටිය ඇත්තේ hyperactive කට්ටිය. So a lot of energy, හැමලෙම දඟලනවා, මාරම active. Hypo කියන්නේ ඒක opposite එක. That means not enough energy in the body, very lethargic, හරිම නිකන් very low energy, නිකන් වැනි කිසිම පණක් නැහැ. කිසි පණක් ඇතුව කෙලින් ඉන්නේ නැහැ, හරිම low energy. That is called hypoactive. So very lethargic. So මම කතා කරන්නේ අර අපිට කම්මැලි කමට එන hypoactive එක නෙවෙයි. Again, let me clarify that. කම්මැලි කමට එන sleepiness එක හරි කම්මැලි කමට එන hypoactive, that is mental. No, you create it in your head. I'm talking about physically, actually feeling hypoactive, actually feeling sleepy. That could be because of an iron deficiency. If you actually feel that, better to go to a doctor. එතකොට ඩොක්ටර් හරියට බලලා කියනවා මොනවාද අඩු මොන tablets ගන්න ඕනේ, right? Then weakness in psychological development. Sometimes psychologically it will be like the person will be less developed, right? If there's an iron deficiency. Then iodine. Iodine helps to synthesize a hormone called thyroxine hormone. You don't know this hormone, but there is a hormone like thyroxine. Then hormones can hormones are, we talked a bit about hormones. You know, we said that certain hormones are proteins, certain other hormones are lipids. Thyroxine කියන්නේ එහෙම hormone එකක්. ඒ hormone එක හදන්න iodine උදව් වෙනවා. I won't talk about what thyroxine does because I feel like that's for a later lesson. But just remember that there is a hormone called thyroxine. Okay? So what will happen if your body doesn't get enough iodine? Affects development of intelligence. Intelligence, ඒ කියන්නේ සමහර කට්ටිය දැන් if you want to test your intelligence, you can do like an IQ test. නිකන් random IQ test එකක් නෙවෙයි, like a proper IQ test you can do and you can test your intelligence, right? Intelligence does not necessarily mean stupid, right? Stupid කියන්න බෑ එක. මොකද intelligence කියන්නේ එකක්. Intelligence කියන්නේ එකක්, like you know, thinking capability එකෙන් තව එකක්, right? But intelligence කියන්නේ mostly like related to learning, memorizing. ඒ පැත්තට තමයි ගොඩක් intelligence යන්නේ. If there's a problem with the intelligence of a certain person, that could be because of an iodine deficiency. Then lethargic attitude towards studies. මේක නම් ඔයගලන්ට තියෙනවද දන්නේ? Okay. Because lethargic attitude towards studies means, I'm joking. Lethargic attitude towards studies means පාඩම් කරන මාර කම්මැලි, ආස නැහැ. ඒක දැන් ඕගලන්ට තියෙන normal කම්මැලි කමටත් වඩා පොඩ්ඩක් වැඩිපුර. සමහර ළමයින්ට තියෙනවා, I have seen that. Like extreme lethargy. කියන්නේ පොතක් දැක්කොත් පාඩමක් දැක්කොත් එම මාරම කම්මැලිකමක්, හරිම very low energy attitude towards studies. That could be because of an iodine deficiency, because studying is related to intelligence. Limits body height. In certain people, height could be affected by iodine. හැම වෙලේම ළමයි height එක කොට කියන්නේ height එක අඩු වෙන්නේ iodine හින්දා නෙවෙයි, කොට වෙන්නේ iodine නැති හින්දා නෙවෙයි. Sometimes if a person is short, that is because of genes. If the parents or grandparents are short, that child could be short. සමහර වෙලාවට iodine හින්දා වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. Okay? So, we talked about several minerals in the human body, their functions, and what will happen if we don't get enough of them, deficiency symptoms. Are all of this clear to you? All clear? Okay. Others? Hirumali, Jituli, Sala, Sandaru, Shanaz, Shineshi, Shweta, Stephanie, උඩ කට්ටිය මම හැමෝගෙම නම් කිව්වේ නෑ, කීප දෙනෙක්ගේ නම් විතරයි කිව්වේ. But if any of you have questions, please do ask. හරි. දැන් මම කලින් කිව්වා වගේ I'm not gonna ask you to write this entire table on the writing book because that's no point. මේ මුකුත් ඔයගලන් ලියන්න ඕනේ නෑ. Instead, I want you to write something. One second. Don't write anything, wait. Instead, මෙන්න මෙහෙම point එකක් දාගන්න. Am I still lagging? Am I still lagging, lamai? Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. It's a bit windy actually, so that could be why පොඩ්ඩක් lag වෙනවා ඇති. පොඩ්ඩක් නැතර ගොඩක් windy එළියේ. I hope what you heard what I said. මේ table එක අපි කෙලින්ම ලියන්න, ඒ කියන්නේ copy paste කරන්න නැහැ. Instead textbook එකේ ඒක පාඩම් කරගන්න විදිහට අපි ලියමු. Functions of minerals in human body and their deficiency symptoms. Table 1.5 on pages 16 and 17. එහෙම දාගමු. එතකොට you can just directly go to the textbook and study that part. No point in writing this නේද? So අපි එහෙම කරමු. ඒත් එක්කම දාගන්න තව point එකක්. මේ points දෙක දාගන්න ළමයි. Make it really fast. We have to finish the lesson today. Quickly.
Teacher can't see.
Can you see now?
No.
Can you see the board?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, which section can you see now?
I can see the table.
The table, okay. Let me see. Still no?
No.
Okay, I will send a link in the chat box. A link එක click කරන්න එතකොට හරියයි. Wait. දැන් මම main chat එකේ දාපු link එක click කරලා බලන්න ආලියා, so it might work. Check. Does it work? Alia, does it work?
No, teacher.
What? How is that possible? එහෙනම් අපි මෙහෙම කරලා බලමු. දැන්? Now?
No, okay.
Okay, all right. Everybody write these 2 points, huh? මේ functions of minerals in human body. ඒක අපි textbook tables එක විතරක් දාමු so that you can study from the tables. Quickly write. Okay. Done, everybody? Thumbs up, please. Because we have to move on to the plant minerals. Shweta, I asked you all to write these 2 points. මේ points දෙක අතරම there's nothing much. මෙන්න මේක මේ table එකෙන් පාඩම් කරන්න, මේක මේ table එකෙන් පාඩම් කරන්න කියලා just 2 points here. Can you see? Okay. Can you take a screenshot because I will be moving on to the plant minerals. Okay. All right. Kushit, any problem?
මේ pages දෙක ලියන්න කිව්වේ.
මෙන්න මේක කුෂිත්. මෙන්න මේ points එක. පේනව නේද?
වගව ගහන්න ඕනේද?
මොකද්ද?
වගව ගහන්න ඕනේද?
නෑ කොටු ගහන්න ඕනේ නෑ. points දෙක ලියවද? මෙන්න මේ points දෙක ලියවද? මේ points දෙක විතරක් ලියවම ඇති. table එක අඳින්න ඕනේ නෑ. හරි. අපි minerals වලට sorry plants වලට ඕනි minerals table එකට යමු. Okay, we'll discuss that. If you have any sorry. Okay, so let's move on to plants. Let me get this table to my whiteboard. Give me a second, please. මේ plants වල ළමයි, yeah? Let's see the minerals that the plant wants and the deficiency symptoms. Okay. Nitrogen. Nitrogen is a very important mineral that the plants need, right? Plants that anivaryam nitrogen one. So nitrogen functions tamai as a constituent of amino acids. Do you remember, and proteins? See, do you remember proteins are made up of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. So nitrogen is present in proteins, and proteins are made up of amino acids. So if nitrogen is present in proteins, they are also present in amino acids. Then nitrogen is also present in nucleic acids. That is also true. Do you remember? Nucleic acids are made up of nucleotides. The nucleotides එකේ තිබ්බ phosphate group එකක්, then pentose sugar. I mean මෙහෙම එකක් තිබ්බ නේද? Nitrogenous base කියලා. Nitrogenous base කියන එක නා හැදලා තියෙන nitrogen වලින්. So nitrogen is also present in, I'm sorry, Namai, my neighbor's child is screaming. I'm sorry if it's too loud. Okay. So in nucleic acids, in nucleotides, nitrogenous base is present. So that is also nitrogen. Not just that, Lamai, there is chlorophyll. Anybody who have heard of chlorophyll? How the chlorophyll again? What is chlorophyll? Anybody?
They present plants.
Yes. They are present in plants. Yes. Hirumali, yes. Yes, Limat? Yes, good. Chlorophyll, yes, they give the green color. Yes. Chlorophyll is present in plants, Lamai. Most of the plants that we encounter, they are green in color, no? A green color can be the chlorophyll hinda. I told you blood is red color because of hemoglobin. Evage thamai plants wala green color can because of chlorophyll, and that is important for photosynthesis. Yes. Photosynthesis is something that we will discuss in the future, so I won't talk about it here. But itana utana liyagana lamai side dekeng. Chlorophyll gives plants the green color. Gives plants the green color. The green color is given by chlorophyll. So that you have some context now. So now here apparently nitrogen is present in chlorophyll also. Chlorophyll also has nitrogen. Then what are the deficiency symptoms? Nitrogen nitrogen adu plants wala mukada venni. Retardation in growth. That means growth will not happen properly. So plants are supposed to grow until a certain point, right? Modera grow venno. Abe nitrogen aduinam, the plant will not grow. Retardation in growth. Chlorosis in mature leaves. Lamai chlorosis kiyana vachane theruma thamai plants wala thiyena green color ka nathi වෙනවා. Then the plants will look or the leaves or whatever will look yellow color. So this is a picture of what will happen to a plant if it doesn't get enough nitrogen. See? Me balana tanin tana yellow color spots තියෙනවා නේද? See? Yellow color spots, me metana yellow color spots. That is chlorosis. So chlorosis is not like podi leaves or mature leaves or local leaves, right? So if you see a plant where the mature leaves, in mature leaves, you can see chlorosis. Yellow color velana mature leaves, then you can decide now I can make plant nitrogen madi, right? Because that is a deficiency symptom of nitrogen. Then phosphorus. As a constituent of nucleic acid, that you know, nucleic acid wala, in the nucleotide, there's a phosphate group. Phosphate group means phosphorus, right? Then there's another one called ATP. ATP, that stands for adenosine triphosphate. ATP ගැන මම ගොඩක් ලොකුවට කතා කරන්නේ නැහැ because again that is something that we are going to learn in the future. But very simply මම ඔයගලන්ට කියන්නම් අපේ body එකේ energy store කරන්නේ ATP වලින්. Right? ATP is like the energy vehicle. So if your body needs to carry energy from one place to another, ATP කියන vehicle එකකින් තමයි carry කරන්නේ. If your body needs to store energy, that will also be stored in ATP. So I have a question. Why can't we see where's that question? One second. Why can't we see them in small leaves? මෙහෙමයි සමහර ඒ කියන්නේ එක එක deficiency symptoms පෙන්වන්න එක එක තැන්වල. Nitrogen is mostly important for mature leaves. Small leaves වලට nitrogen ඕනේ, but nitrogen is mostly important for mature leaves. So if the mature leaves don't get enough nitrogen, it will show chlorosis more. එතකොට ඒක එක එක minerals වල deficiencies පෙන්වන locations තියෙනවා. So in nitrogen, the chlorosis is shown in mature leaves. But a certain other mineral, එයාගේ deficiency එක small leaves වල පෙන්වන්න පුළුවන්. Right? So it's just like different locations where you can see them. For an example, හිතන්න iron කියලා. If a plant doesn't have enough iron, එතනද chlorosis වෙන්නේ පොඩි leaves වල. If the plant doesn't get enough nitrogen, the deficiency symptom is chlorosis in mature leaves. If the plant doesn't get enough iron, the deficiency symptom is chlorosis in small leaves, young leaves. ඒක ඉස්සරහ අපි කතා කරමු. So මෙතන ATP වලටත් ලියන්න පොඩි short note එකක් වගේ. ATP පිළිරක් ගහලා stores energy. Then you know what that means නේ. Stores and carries energy. Just so that you know what to study. Otherwise නිකන් ATP කියන වචන තිබ්බම ඔයගොල්ලන් දන්නේ නැහැනේ. That's why. Stores and carries energy. Stores and carries energy. Okay. What are the deficiency symptoms? Retarded growth of roots. Plant grow roots. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් plant එකක් ළමයි හරියට hold වෙලා තියෙන roots වලින්. Roots are what holds a plant properly. So what if the roots don't grow well? Plant එකට strength එකක් නැති වෙනවා. පොඩි හුළඟටත් plant එක වැටෙනවා. If the roots are not strong enough. So when the plant doesn't get enough phosphorus, the roots are not growing properly. Retarded growth of roots and also red and purple patches on leaves. That is not chlorosis, huh? That is not chlorosis. That is red and purple patches. Make a textbook එකේ තියෙනවා image එක. මම ඒක whiteboard එකට අරන් ඔයගලන්ට පෙන්නන්නම්. See this picture? මේ picture එකේ මේ leaf එකේ මෙන්න මේ තනින් තනින් red purple නේ reddish purple වගේ patches තියෙනවා නෙමෙයි. මෙන්න purple like it's not like අර මාර bright purple එකක් නෙවෙයි, but it is a purple. Like red purple patches වගේ තියෙනවා. So that is because that plant doesn't have enough phosphorus. Up to that point, is it clear, Lamai? Give me a thumbs up, please. Okay, great. Please give me a second. Okay, that is for phosphorus. Then we'll move on to potassium. Let's see what are the functions of potassium. Protein synthesis. Now, certain proteins, most of the proteins we eat from the food, right? Api egg kanava, then we eat meat, types of meat, fish. Then we eat certain food like dal, beans, soy, wageva. Well, good proteins තියෙනවා. හැබැයි ඔක්කොම proteins අපි කන කෑම වලින් නෙවෙයි. Certain proteins our body makes, right? So potassium helps to make these proteins. Synthesis means making, production. So certain proteins our body makes. So that is called protein synthesis. For that, potassium helps. Opening and closing of stomata. What does that mean? ඒ කියන්නේ ළමයි අපි leaf එකක් ගත්තොත්, right? If you take a leaf එකේ උඩ surface එක නෙවෙයි යට surface එකේ, right? Leaf එකේ deficiency symptom එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ if that particular mineral is not obtained in the appropriate amount. දැන් හිතන්නකෝ iron වගේ body එකට certain amount එකකට ඕනේ කියලා. ඒ amount එකට iron හම්බුනේ නැත්තම්, right? That means there's a lack of iron. එතකොට ඔයාගේ body එකෙන් එක ඔයාගේ body එකේ එක changes වෙනවා. Just like that in plants also, if that particular mineral is not received in the appropriate amounts, there are certain changes happening. ඒ mineral එක යාට ඒ කියන්නේ ඒ අවශ්‍ය තරමට තියෙන්න ඕනේ. නැති වුණොත් body ඒ plant එක හරි animal ගේ හරි human ගේ හරි there are changes happening. Like the bad changes happening. Those are called deficiency symptoms. So ඒ symptoms දැක්කම ඔයාට හිතන්න පුළුවන් ඒ කියන්නේ මෙන්න මේ mineral එක අඩුයි කියලා. Okay. So stomata. Stomata කියන්නේ ළමයි leaf එකක යට under කියන්නේ මොනවද low surface එකේ lower surface එකේ there are little holes. These holes are called stomata. So අපි breathe කරනවානේ oxygen. We breathe oxygen and we breathe out carbon dioxide. Plants also breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. එතකොට plants වලට කොහෙන්ද මේ gases ring ගන්නෙ? Through stomata. Right. So අපි චූටි පොඩි point එකක් එතනක් දාගමු. stomata කියලා ඉරක් ගහලා ලියන්න. Tiny pores or holes on the underside of the leaf. Leaf එකේ යට පොඩි holes තියෙනවා. Gases එහෙම leaf එක ඇතුළට යන්නේ මේ holes වලින්. So what will happen if your body doesn't get enough potassium? If your body doesn't get enough potassium, chlorosis in leaf. එක දන්නවනේ අපි chlorosis means the leaf becomes yellow color. In addition to that, there are yellow or brown patches like this. Let me get a picture again. This picture is also from the textbook. ඔගාන textbook එක තියෙනවා නම් textbook එකේම picture එක බලන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් මෙතන ගත්තොත් ළමයි මෙතන chlorosis is also there. මේ yellow color වෙලා තියෙන this is chlorosis. ඊට අමතරව මේ බලන්න leaf එකේ මේ හරිය brown වගේ වෙලා. That means that plant doesn't have enough potassium. When the plant doesn't get enough potassium, there are yellow or brown patches. Okay. Then let's move on to iron. Iron වලින් මොකද්ද කරන්නේ? Iron also helps for chlorophyll. Remember, nitrogen also helps to make chlorophyll. Sorry. Nitrogen also helps to make chlorophyll. Iron also helps to make chlorophyll. And not just chlorophyll, iron also helps to make respiratory enzymes. Now, enzymes මොනවද කියලා අපි දන්නවනේ. අපේ respiratory system එකේ තියෙන enzymes වලට තමයි අපි respiratory enzymes කියලා කියන්නේ. Okay? Now, what will happen if your body doesn't get enough iron? Chlorosis in tender leaves. Tender කියන්නේ ළමයි young leaves. දැන් ඒකට question එකක් අහුවනේ ඔයගොල්ලන්. දැන් අපි කිව්වම chlorosis in mature leaves කියලායි පොඩි leaves වල වෙන්නේ නැද්ද කියලා. පොඩි leaves වලත් වෙනවා. පොඩි leaves වල chlorosis වුණොත් that is because there is an iron deficiency. මෙතන ඔයගොල්ලන් bracket එකක් දාලා යන්න පුළුවන්. Tender means young leaves. Young means small leaves කියන meaning එක. You can put a bracket and write there. මේ ටික අපි ටක් ගාලා කතා කරගෙන යමු because we have to finish vitamins also. Calcium. Calcium තියෙනවා component of cell wall. So අපේ cells වල තියෙනවා in plants also cells වල තියෙනවා වටේට wall එක. That wall is called the cell wall. In the cell wall there is calcium. To maintain the structure and function of plasma membrane. Now lamai plasma membrane is also like the cell wall. If you take up a cell එක මෙම අපේ cell එක ගත්තොත් එහෙම let's say this is the cell. Cell එකේ එක layer එකක් තියෙනවා that is called the plasma membrane. It's very windy and cold. මාව lag වෙනවා වගේ නම් කියන්න ළමයි. I'm pretty sure පොඩ්ඩක් හරි network issue එකක් ඇති because it's very windy outside. Anyways, if you take a cell, around the cell there is a layer that is plasma membrane. Plasma membrane එකටත් එළියේ there's another layer. That layer is called cell wall. අපි plasma membrane and cell wall ගැන ඉස්සරහට කතා කරනවා. Yes, Hirumali, we are okay. අපිට rain වත් නැහැ. It's not rainy for us, so it's only windy. but ගොඩක් කියන්නේ මේ western province එකට අවුලක් නැහැ. I think ගොඩක් central පැත්තේ තමයි case එක තියෙනවා ඇත්තේ. Anyone who's living in around that like central north central ඒ පැත්තේ ඉන්නවා නම් be careful. I think there were like landslide warnings එහෙම දාලා තිබ්බනේ, so be careful. warning එකක් දුන්නා මේ warning එක ගන්න ඕනේ. අපේ මිනිස්සු warnings ගණන් ගන්න නැහැනේ. ඒකයි ගොඩක් ප්‍රශ්නේ. natural disasters වල ගොඩක් වෙලාවට සමහර අවස්ථාවල you can't even blame the government because warnings, they issue warnings. For floods, they issue, even for this flood, there were warnings apparently. Landslide warnings, සමහර warnings ගොඩාක් කිට්ටු කරලා දුන්නොත් අපිට respond කරන්න වෙලා මදි, but they give warnings. ඒ warnings ආවම ඒවා සැහැල්ලුවට ගන්න හොඳ නැහැ. We have to respond fast, right? So if you are living in those regions, be careful. Okay. So එතකොට calcium මේ plasma membrane එකයි cell wall එකයි දෙකටම ඕනේ calcium, right? Not just that, we need calcium for enzymes as well. Now we already know what enzymes are. Enzymes are that calcium ඕනේ. What will happen if your body doesn't get enough calcium? Dying of tissues at the tips. මුළු leaf එකම මුකුත් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මුළු plant එකෙම වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Leaf එකේ tip එකේ විතරක් tissues මැරෙනවා. Again, a picture you can find on the textbook. For those of you who don't have the textbook, I will put the picture in the whiteboard. Can you see this picture, Lamai? Okay. See here, my leaf eke tip eka mein. My leaf eke tip eke, the tissues have died. The tissues have died. The instant you see that the tips of leaves are dead, you can clearly say that it's a calcium deficiency. මේ calcium මේ ගොඩක් leaf deficiencies වලට කියන්න ලේසි. plant එක දැක ගම පේනවා. Okay? So that's calcium. Then zinc. Zinc ගත්තොත් එම for the activity of enzymes. Again, zinc is important for enzymes. Zinc is also important for chlorophyll. You know what chlorophyll is? Ne? So zinc is important for enzymes and zinc is also important for chlorophyll. What will happen if your body doesn't get enough zinc? Dead cells and tissues throughout the plant. ඒ කියන්නේ මුළු plant එකේම හැමතැනම dead වෙලා. The entire plant becomes dead. And not only that, extra thickness in leaves. Then සාමාන්‍යයෙන් if you take a mango leaf or දන්නවනේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් කොච්චරද thickness එක කියලා, you are familiar නේ. ඒ වගේ තමයි ගොඩක් plants වල leaves සාමාන්‍යයෙන් there's a certain thickness. But if there's a zinc deficiency, leaves will become like extra thick, abnormally thick. Again, there is a picture on the textbook for that. ඔයගන්ට තව හොඳට බලා ගන්න ඕන, you can use Google. You have a lot of කියන්නේ ඔයගලන්ට ගොඩක් internet access තියෙනවානේ. So ඔයගලන් ඒවා use කරන්න, you just use internet for useless cannot bear, but you use it for like other things like social media and all that. But ඔයගලන් Google, YouTube වගේ use කරන්න නැහැනේ වැඩිය මේ වගේ දේවල් වලට. But you can actually Google and see. There are so many images. So මේ ගත්තොත් මේ leaf එකේ තනින් තන වැඩිපුර thick වෙලා. That is because of a zinc deficiency. Then sulfur. You know, proteins වල අපි කතා කරා, some proteins have sulfur. Not all proteins, but some proteins have sulfur. So sulfur is present in proteins and amino acids because proteins are made up of amino acids. Lamai, I will take about 5 extra minutes, so please don't leave the Zoom and stay. මොකද මට vitamins ටික අද ඉවර කරන්න ඕනේ, අපිට නැත්නම් worksheet එක කරන්න වෙන්නේ. Okay. What will happen if there is a deficiency of sulfur? Chlorosis in veins and areas between veins. What does that mean? Now, if you take a leaf එකක අපි කියනවනේ නාරටිය කියලා. The vein. Like let's say මෙහෙම leaf එක තියනවා කියලා. මෙන්න මෙහෙම මැද there is a vein going. Then there are like branches. These are what we call veins. එතකොට හැමතැනම නෙවෙයි, මෙන්න මේ veins අතර මැද space එකේ තමයි chlorosis තියෙන්නේ. So you can see kind of like a let me take a yellow color. මෙන්න මෙහෙම මේ veins වල හැම පොඩි yellow color එකක් තියෙනවා. And then my areas between veins, there's like a yellow color because of chlorosis. That is because of a deficiency of sulfur. Is that clear, Lamai? Give me a thumbs up if it's clear up to this point, please. Everybody. Okay. මේකත් අපි ලියන්නේ නැහැ. මේක තමයි මම ඉස්සරහට statement එකක් දුන්නේ functions of minerals in plant body and their deficiency symptoms. Table එකයි page එකයි දුන්නා. ඉතින් අපි ඒක ආයෙ ලියන්නේ නැහැ. textbook එකෙන් ඒක study කරගන්න පුළුවන්. ලියලා වැඩක් නැති හින්දා අපි ලියන්නේ. Let's quickly move to our next point, next section, vitamins. Can you all put a topic, Lamai? Put a topic, vitamins. Vitamins का topic එකක් දාගන්න ඉක්මනට. Vitamins. Now I have a question. Let's see if you remember. බලමු previous weeks වල මතකයිද කියලා. Are minerals organic or inorganic? Are minerals organic or inorganic? Tell. Minerals are minerals. Are they organic?
Organic.
Okay. I'm getting the answer organic. Anyone who thinks minerals are inorganic? Minerals are vitamins නෙවෙයි minerals.
Organic.
Okay. Minerals are actually inorganic. Inorganic. පිටු පෙරලා බලන්න අපි මුලින්ම ලියපු හරිය තියෙනවා organic inorganic වල. අපි කිව්වා inorganic ඒවා මොනවාද? Water inorganic, gases inorganic and minerals inorganic. That means carbon නැහැ. මතක තියාගන්න ඕනේ ඒවා. What about vitamins? Vitamins, are they organic or inorganic?
Organic.
Others, what do you think? Yes.
Organic.
Yes. Water, minerals are inorganic, but vitamins are organic, right? Vitamins are organic. Again, namai apita minerals වගේම තමයි vitamins පොඩ්ඩයි ඕනේ body එකට. Okay. So, excuse me. මොනවත් ලියන්න එපා. Just listen. Vitamins වල excuse me. Okay. So vitamins වල we can divide vitamins into two. Some vitamins lamai they dissolve in water. වතුර වල හොඳට දිය වෙනවා සමහර vitamins. But there are some other vitamins they don't dissolve in water. Right? So vitamins we can divide it into two as we can divide ලියන්න එපා. Just listen. Some vitamins are water soluble. That means they dissolve in water. Some vitamins they don't dissolve in water, they are fat soluble. ඒ කියන්නේ lipids වල තමයි dissolve. Do not dissolve in water. වතුර වල dissolve වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Lipids වල තමයි dissolve වෙන්නේ. සමහර vitamins. Let's see what are the vitamins that dissolve in water. So you may have heard of like different vitamins. You may have heard of vitamin A. Vitamin A is fat soluble. You may have heard of vitamin B. Vitamin B is water soluble. Then there is vitamin C. Vitamin C is also water soluble. Then vitamin D. Ara udeta awata yanna kiyanne vitamin D. That is fat soluble. Then vitamin E. Ara vitamin E oil එක තියෙන capsules එහෙම. That is fat soluble. Then vitamin K. That is also fat soluble. So මේ ටික තමයි අපිට තියෙන ඔක්කොම vitamins. We have vitamin A, B, C, D, E and K. There are 6 vitamins altogether. So 2 vitamins B and C they are water soluble. 4 vitamins A, D, E and K they are fat soluble. මේක මතක තියාගන්න පුළුවන් ළමයි ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කඩේ. See? K A D E. K is vitamin K, A is vitamin A, D is vitamin D and E is vitamin E. So කඩේ. කඩේ කියන එක මතක තියාගත්තාම මොනවාද fat soluble කියලා මතක තියාගන්න පුළුවන්. So whatever that is not fat soluble, there's water soluble. That is B and C. So then make a liagan balan. As I said previously, I will take 5 minutes. Up in 9:35 let's first write 1 point. Okay, vitamins are organic compounds ke liye maine make it agga liya kar. I'll give you 2 minutes for this. Make it fast. Quickly. Okay, done. I'll give you 1 more minute. Others, lamai done writing? හැමෝම ලියනව නේද? Okay. Okay. So we will talk about the functions and deficiency symptoms of vitamins as well. ඒකට again අපි textbook එකේ ටික කතා කරමු. මොකද ආයමත් එක පොතේ ලියන එක වැඩක් නෑ ළමයි, because it's anyways on the textbook නේ. අපි ඒක point එකක් දාලා ලියමු. Functions of vitamins and deficiency symptoms කියලා. Put a dash and write. It's on table 1.7. Table 1.7 on pages 19 and 20. මෙම ටක් දාලා point එකක් දාගන්න. ඊට පස්සේ අපි deficiency symptoms එක discuss කරමු. Quickly write. Functions of vitamins and deficiencies. Sorry. Functions of vitamins and deficiency symptoms ඉරක් ගහලා table 1.7 on pages 19 and 20. කැලියා ගන්න. Okay, let's start discussing. Vitamin A. Vitamin A forms visual pigments important for eye vision. Now, Lamai, when we see something, there are visual pigments inside our eye. Ekeka pigments, right? Ekeka pigments, these pigments are responsible for different things. So for that, vitamin A is important. And also to keep our skin healthy and fair. Fair කියන්නේ සුදුයි කියන එක නෙවෙයි. Fair කියන්නේ පැහැපත් කියන එක. Fair skin කියන්නේ usually අපි fair කියලා කියනවා සුදු කට්ටියටත්, but generally පැහැපත් කියන එකකට අපි කියන්නේ fair කියලා. So it's not about having like white or like fair skin or dark skin කියන එක නෙවෙයි. Healthy skin. පැහැපත් healthy skin එකක් තියෙන එක. So vitamin A helps for forming visual pigments and also to keep your skin healthy and fair. Deficiency symptoms means what will happen if your body doesn't get enough vitamin A? Night blindness. Now, Lamai, when when all the lights are switched off, can you see? Can you see around? Lights ඔක්කොම off කරොත් වටේ පෙනේද? ඔයගලන්ට පේනවද?
No.
Okay. මට නම් පේනවා හැබැයි. Are you sure you can't see?
A bit.
Yeah, a bit. So as soon as the lights are turned off, එකපාරට මුකුත් පේන්නේ නැති වෙනවා නේ, කළු වෙනවා. So ටිකක් වෙලා ඉන්නකොට your eyes get adjusted and you start seeing things there. You start seeing around, right? Have you noticed that? Have you experienced that? Others? ඔවන්නේ ගිත් මේ විතරද? What about others? As soon as the lights are off, you can't see anything, but then after some time, your eyes kind of get adjusted. That is night. That means night vision. You have night vision. But vitamin A අඩු වුණොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? You have night blindness. Night blindness means රැට පේන්නේ නැහැ. Your eyes are blind. Then bite or patches in the eye. So there's a picture on the textbook as well. Page 20 වල අන්තිමට bite patches means ළමයි little like black නිකන් brown black වගේ patches ඇහි හැදෙනවා. Those are called bite patches. Then dryness in the skin. Your skin becomes dry. Then blisters on knees and elbows. Skin එක dry වෙලා කොච්චර dry වෙනවද කියනවනම් now elbows and knees ඒ වගේ තැන්වල dry වැඩි. සාමාන්‍ය dryness එක වැඩි elbows and knees වල. So your skin will become so dry that the elbows and knees will form little blisters. පොඩි නිකන් තුවාල වගේ හැදෙනවා dry වැඩි හින්දා. That is also vitamin A deficiency symptoms. Then diseases associated with respiratory tract. Breathe කරන respiratory tract එකේ එක diseases එන්න පුළුවන් if your body doesn't have enough vitamin A. Then vitamin B. Maintenance of nerves. Now you know what nerves are. Nerves carry messages. So A messages ටික ගානට carry වෙනවා if there is enough vitamin B. To maintain a healthy skin. Right? Again, to maintain a healthy skin, to keep your skin healthy. Formation of bone marrow. Bone marrow කියන්නේ ළමයි ඕගලන්ගේ bones වල තියෙනවා පොඩි නිකන් liquid වගේ තැනක්. That is called bone marrow. ඔය අපේ body එකේ blood cells වගේව හැදෙන්නේ bone marrow වල. Bone marrow ඕගලන් අහලත් ඇති සමහරට. සමහර කට්ටියගේ bone marrow දිය වෙනවා කියලා ලෙඩක් හැදෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ bones එතකොට දිය වෙනවා. Bone marrow එක තියෙන්නේ bone එක ඇතුලේ it's like a bit of a liquid kind of a place. Liquid නෙමෙයි but semi solid වගේ. So එතකොට bone marrow සමහර කට්ටියගේ දිය වුණාම that's a disease. So anyhow there's a section called bone marrow. So that bone marrow is formed because of vitamin B. Then maturation of red blood cells. අපේ body එකේ ළමයි mainly blood වල. If you take blood, mainly just red blood cells. So red blood cells, as soon as they are formed, they become mature because of vitamin B. Vitamin B helps with the maturation of red blood cells. Then antibody production. Now the antibodies කියලා කියන්නේ. So when your body, if you become sick, let's say මොකරි bacteria එකක් හරි virus එකක් හරි මොකරි ඔයගේ body එකට එනවා. ඔයාගේ body එකෙන් මොකද කරන්නේ? Antibodies වල හදනවා. So those antibodies will go and fight with that bacteria or virus. So those are antibodies. ඒකටත් vitamin B උදව් කරනවා. So what will happen if your body doesn't get enough vitamin B? That will form a disease called beriberi. Beriberi කියන්නේ ළමයි හරියටම මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ කියලා කියන්න අමාරුයි. Beriberi වලදී එකක් තමයි ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ කියන්නේ I mean beriberi හැදෙන කෙනාගේ අත් කකුලෙම ඉදි වෙනවා, swell වෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ heart beat එක වැඩි වෙනවා. And then ඊට පස්සේ නිකන් nervous system එකේ ප්‍රශ්න එනවා, muscles weak වෙනවා. It was even psychological ප්‍රශ්න නේ වගේ ගොඩක් ඒවා beriberi. So beriberi is actually not a very good disease. Okay? Then anemia. Anemia මං කිව්වා skin එක pale වෙනවා, lips ඔක්කොම pale වෙන එක තමයි anemia. Then dryness in the skin, change in complexion, right? සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි හැමෝගෙම natural skin color එකක් තියෙනවානේ. But natural skin color එක වෙනස් වෙනවා නම්, change වෙනවා නම්, it could be because of vitamin B. Then reduction in antibody production. අපේ body එකේ antibodies හදන එක අඩු කරනවා. I told you when there's a bacteria or virus coming, the antibodies actually fight with these viruses and bacteria. That is good, right? Antibodies are good. හැබැයි antibodies අඩු වුණොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? අර bacteria and virus එක fight කරන්න antibodies මදි. Antibodies are like soldiers. So soldiers they go and fight with the bacteria or virus. So antibodies අඩු වුණොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? අපේ body එකට ලේසියෙම ලෙඩ හැදෙනවා. Those bacteria and virus will come and cause diseases. Okay? Then vitamin C. Vitamin C වලින් කරන්නේ to keep our skin healthy. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට vitamin C තියෙන fruits මොනවාද? Vitamin C තියෙන fruits. Oranges, yes. Narang, lime, lemon, yes. Mandarins, yes. So ගොඩක් වෙලාවට citrus ඒ කියන්නේ අර ඇඹුල් ගතියක් වගේ එන අර නාරං දොඩම් වල තියෙන ඇඹුල් ගතිය, lemon වල lime වල තියෙන ඇඹුල් ගතිය වගේ ඒවා yes citrus කට්ටිය. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ තියෙනවා vitamin C. So ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපි vitamin C සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි කියන්නේ vitamin C we should get enough vitamin C. අපිට වැඩි vitamin C හම්බෙන්නේ නැත්තම් we can get vitamin C tablets, right? So vitamin C helps to keep our skin healthy. To form enamel. Enamel is like gum එක. විදුරු මාස කියලා කියන්නේ gum එක. That is enamel. To synthesize collagen fibers. අපේ body එකේ ළමයි අපි දැන් if you take අපේ body එකේ face එක හරි legs හරි hands හරි if you take our body මේ හොඳට තියෙන්නේ because of collagen, right? හැබැයි ඔයගලගේ body එකේ collagen අඩු වුණොත් especially mid 30s වගේ ඉඳන් එතනින් එහාට වයසට යනකොට collagen අඩු වුණොත් body එකේ wrinkles හැදෙනවා. Like a lot of wrinkles form in your body. Right? ඒ කියන්නේ collagen තියෙන එක හොඳයි. Collagen හැදෙන්නේ because of vitamin C. මොකද වෙන්නේ vitamin C අඩු වුණොත් weakening of gum. විදුරු මහ weak වෙනවා. Right? සමහරවිට විදුරු මහ දිය වෙනවා. විදුරු මහ is a gum ළමයි, right? Teeth is attached to the gum. Internal bleeding. Body එක ඇතුලේ bleed වෙනවා. For no reason sometimes inside the body there will be bleeding. Delays recovery from diseases. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ඔයගන්ට ලෙඩක් හැදුනොත් හිතන්න පොඩි ලෙඩක් නිකන් common cold වගේ දෙයක් හැදුනොත් ඉක්මනට හොඳ වෙනවා සාමාන්‍යයෙන්. බෙහෙත් දීවහම හොඳ වෙනවා. බෙහෙත් බිව්වේ නැතත් සමහර ඒවා හොඳ වෙනවා. But if your body doesn't have enough vitamin C, ලේසියෙන් ලෙඩ වලින් හොඳ වෙන්නේ නැහැ ළමයි. It's very easy to get better. Okay? Then scurvy. Now scurvy is again a bit of a weird disease. Scurvy වල ගොඩක් වෙන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලන් body එක හරියම weak වෙනවා. ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ නෙවෙයි scurvy හැදෙන කෙනාගේ. Scurvy හැදෙන කෙනාගේ body එක weak වෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ ඉක්මනට හරියම ලේසියෙන් ලෙඩ හැදෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ විදුරු මා ගම් එක දිය වෙනවා. And then there will be like bleeding. ඒ වගේ ගොඩක් ප්‍රශ්න එනවා scurvy හින්දා. So all of this happen because of deficiency of vitamin C. Up to that point, is it clear? There's only a bit more. Up to that point, is it clear? Lamai, give me a thumbs up, please. Okay. I only asked for 5 minutes, but I'm taking a little more than that. I'm sorry, but I will make it work. I know you guys do everything else and sleep quite late. Okay, vitamin D. Now, you know, we already learned about how important the minerals calcium and phosphorus are, right? Calcium and phosphorus කියන දෙකම හරිම important. හැබැයි ඒ දෙක අපේ body එකෙන් absorb කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒ absorb කරන එක control කරන්නේ vitamin D. ගොඩක් absorb කරනවාද පොඩ්ඩක් absorb කරනවාද that is controlled by vitamin D. So if your body doesn't get enough vitamin D, there will be a deficiency symptom that is rickets. Rickets කියන්නේ bones deform වෙනවා. තනින් තන bones අමුතු විදියට නැවෙනවා, වැරදි කියන්නේ අමුතු විදියට හැදෙනවා. So your bones are supposed to be in a certain way නේ. The bones become the structure becomes different. That is rickets. You can even Google and find images for rickets. Then vitamin E wala growth of tissues and cells. අපේ body එකේ tissues and cells grow වෙන vitamin E උදව් කරනවා. So what will happen if there's a deficiency in vitamin E? Premature births. සාමාන්‍ය ළමයි ඉපදෙන්නේ මාස 9ක් අම්මගේ බඩේ ඉන්නවානේ. womb එකේ මාස 9ක් ඉන්නවා. But premature births means the child is born before the 9 months. සමහර ළමයි ඔයගලනොත් සමහර අය ඇති එහෙම. 6 months, 7 months, 8 months වලින් එහෙම ඉපදෙන ළමයි. So සමහර අයට පොඩක් ප්‍රශ්න වෙනවා. සමහර අය okay, they survive, right? increase in the rate of breaking down of red blood cells. Red blood cells ikmanta kadi yana. Now that is also a problem, right? Our body needs red blood cells. But if your body doesn't have enough vitamin E, the red blood cells will easily break down. Kadi yana. Weakness in cell division. So apela cells are divided into two, then those are divided into two. Remember cells hamalema divide වෙනවා. Divide වෙවි තමයි අපේ cell count එක වැඩි වෙන්නේ. But if there's a deficiency in vitamin E, there's a weakness in cell division. Cell division weak වෙනවා කියන්නේ ළමයි අපේ cells ගාන වැඩි වෙන්නේ. So especially if you take a small baby, that small baby grows because the number of cells become increasing. හැබැයි cell division හරියට උනේ නැත්නම් යාගේ cells ගාන වැඩි වෙන්නේ නැහැ. එතකොට හරියට growth එක වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Okay? And then weakness in reproduction. What is reproduction? So mother gang and father gang, there are gametes forming, right? We will be doing an entire lesson on reproduction. Those gametes will combine to form a baby. However, if there is a lack of vitamin E, harita reproduction වෙන්නේ. එක්ක හරියට gametes හැදෙන්නේ නැහැ, එක්ක හරියට babyව හැදෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ වගේ ප්‍රශ්න එනවා. Last one, vitamin K. Vitamin K වලින් කරන්නේ blood clotting. So blood clotting වලට ඕන දේවල් ටික හදන්නේ vitamin K. So what if your body doesn't get enough vitamin K? Blood clotting will not happen, right? Will not happen, or it will be delayed. Parakku වෙනවා. Okay? So up to that point, is it clear, lamai? Give me a thumbs up. Okay. So all the newcomers, since it's your first day, let me know within today and tomorrow whether you will continue the class or not. And also, lamai, you can send me your notes. I will correct your notes. I think ගොඩක් අය මම correct කරා. Correct කරපු නැති කට්ටිය ඉන්නවා නම් මට chat එකේ නිකන් full stop dot එකක් වගේ දාන්න. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලන් chat එක උඩට එනවනේ. Then I will correct those. And also, yes, previous weeks වල absent වෙච්ච කට්ටිය මට කියන්නේ මතක් කරන්න. Maria WhatsApp වල දාන්න. WhatsApp එකේ දාන්න. එතකොට මට ඒ chat එක උඩට එනවා. So එතකොට previous weeks වල absent වෙච්ච කට්ටිය මට message එකක් දාන්න. Then I will send the recording. Also keep in mind, lamai, if you are getting absent, let me know beforehand. Right? Let me know beforehand. And also matak kala recording එක ඉල්ල ගන්න. කිසිම දෙයක් miss කරගන්න එපා. දැන් මේ නම් miss කරගත්තොත් එimhe it's going to be a problem later on. Tute එක කියන්නේ worksheet එකද? Worksheet එක මට එවන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. We will anyways discuss. Next week අපි worksheet එක මම ගන්නට අද රෑ එවන්නම් worksheet එක. අද රෑ හරි හෙට උදේ හරි. Yes, Zala.
Do we need to take the printout?
Better to take the printout. No, Ogulanta, if you're okay with having it on the computer or phone, it's okay. But I would recommend you to take the printout so that you have some like a hard copy in it. එතකොට මම එවන worksheet එකේ printout එක අරන් තියාගන්න. Then I think it will be easy for you. That's all I have to say. Anything else that any doubts or any concerns or anything, any questions you have before we end the class? No? All good? Give me a thumbs up if everything is clear. All is clear. Hari. Other class එකේ whiteboard note එක අපි discuss කරපු ඔක්කොම මේ whiteboard එකේ ටික මම ඔයගලන්ට group එකට දානවා PDF එකක් විදියට. We have discussed quite a lot, right? So all of these I will send in the group as a PDF. And yes, we will meet each other next week, which will be 13th. 13th අපි හම්බ වෙනවා. Until then, have a great week and good night, lamai.
Thank you, Miss.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.